Good morning, college football world. It is rivalry week, and we are back and excited. I got my man Justin from the Bama Standard, my other co-host Michael. My co-host Michael is out in the woods, so he's going to be chiming in today. Boy, I'm getting some feedback, so sorry if I got quiet there for a second. It kind of got crazy.
So you're saying I'm the reliable one. I'm here. I'm guaranteed. Where while Michael's out doing his thing. I'll take that as a yes. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited. This is the Iron Bowl for us Bama guys. It's the game we wait the entire year for, and ready to put to sleep all the Auburn supporters who are rising up and trying to chime in there and demanding relevance. But we're hopefully going to show them a little something today and get another 365 days of shut up. But anyway, it's going to be an exciting time.
Sorry about that, Justin. I have my thing on constant repeat. The one thing the show host didn't do, I had my noise cancellation. So everything I said in the intro came back on me. So sorry, all you out there, for that clunky introduction. Try this again. It is game day. We're here. I got my man Justin. I know he just talked to you. Our other co-host, Michael, he's at home with family out in the sticks of Alabama, so the internet connection's a little low, but he's going to be chiming in. But, man, we got a full show for you today. We got Rebel legend Jerrell Powe coming back to talk to us about his time in Starkville. He went to the belly of the beast and came back out victorious. And, man, then we turn our attention to the granddaddy of them all, the Iron Bowl. We got one Mr. A.C. Carter of Bama fame coming on to pump all you Bama guys up for the Iron Bowl. And come on, Auburn fans, chime in too. We're with you. We know it's your day as well. But, again, sorry for the clunky introduction, but we're good to go now. Man, Mr. Powe is going to come on with us in about 15 minutes. Are you excited?
Oh, man, I'm really excited. I also got that Iron Bowl nervousness kind of settling in, man, because the closer it gets to game time, the more ready I am to go. And, of course, I need to stay away from all media now at this point and just kind of go with what I'm feeling instead of letting outside sources kind of dictate how I'm feeling.
Trust me, I know. I went through those emotions on Thursday, man. I'd got it in my head. Look, I'm that rebel, man. I'm a little on the pessimistic side, and I try to be realistic too. State have been playing really good football, and you go into that place where they're ringing those bells at a deafening pitch. I was a little nervous. So I get the bugs that the Bama fans have, but I don't know, man. The matchup today seems to be really in favor of a certain team on the visitor sideline. So.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, you look at it and you're like, how do these guys even bother coming in the stadium to face Alabama at this point? Just because it's going to be a matchup nightmare, but it's the Iron Bowl.
It's the Iron Bowl.
The statistics, the records, everything just doesn't matter in this game, man. And weird things happen in the Iron Bowl, especially when it's on the Native American burial ground.
Look, stadium. I know they retired Spirit earlier this year, but I bet they let him out just to awake those spirits one more time on this Saturday to try to get a little help from those guys against the Tide, because we know they're there. We've seen them time after time awake and do some crazy shit down there on the plains.
Absolutely, man. So I'm expecting them to pull out all the stops today, and they're gonna be fully motivated to play. So just don't think that Auburn's gonna come out and lay down and just kind of give us a pass over to Georgia. No, man, we're going to have to earn it today, and we're going to have to, I would say, match their intensity, but I feel like we're going to have to go over their intensity. We're going to have to shut them down early.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it's Iron Bowl. Do you have a special Saturday morning cocktail for your Iron Bowl day? I know this Saturday, we got to talk about this. Michael's cussing at us right now because we haven't brought up the Saturday morning cocktail.
Well, you know what? He's not here, so
he can't get on us.
He can't poke the bear. And then what Charles Barkley was getting on to to Bo Nix about, you can't poke the bear. You're not even playing the day. That's ridiculous. That's my horrible Charles Barkley.
That was Justin.
He'll over here talking about things he's not gonna be a part of. Shut the hell up, boy.
Oh, Lord, if we have any talent scouts out there, Justin, I'm not sure your phone is going to be ringing after that Barkley impression.
No, it's not. I'm not. I don't do Barkley now. If you want Hulk Hogan or Macho Man Randy Savage, we could do that.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of show.
Well, man,
I mean, it's an exciting day. So, man, I'm ready to get this thing done. I'm ready to come out with the Iron Bowl victory and then talk about Georgia. You know, all the other Alabama fans have been talking about the matchup between Georgia and how we're better in this area, how we're better in that area. And I've been saying the entire time, no, we're going to look at LSU, we're going to look at Arkansas, we're going to look at Auburn, and then Georgia. So, you know, let's handle business today. Then we can focus on the Bulldogs.
That's right. That's right. Well, shoot, man. Now we're in. I'm in relax mode at this point. Wait and see, because my boys are.
I envy you at this point because you are anxiety free today, basically.
Shoot, now I'm just seeing where it all shakes out. And hey, are we headed to the Sugar Bowl? We headed to the Peach Bowl? This is not something Ole Miss fans get to do very often, buddy. We're sitting here on Saturday in November wondering if we're headed what New Year's Six Bowl we're headed to, and God bless if something happens and Oklahoma slips and we play them, Ole Miss. We're so excited to be going, but if we have to play Oklahoma, you're going to hear a sigh come out of Oxford like you've never heard. Because I don't know if you realize, every time we get to go to a big bowl game, we end up then playing Oklahoma State. We played them in one of the two Cotton Bowls. We played them in the last Sugar Bowl we went to was against Oklahoma State. And I loved it. Gundy was bitching after Ole Miss went on pro. Well, no wonder they beat us. They were buying players. It's like, hey, Mullet, T-Boone Pickens is your dadgum biggest supplier, and you're talking about buying players? Your conference got killed because of people like T-Boone, you dummy.
Gundy's always looking for a reason to whine and complain. My Lord. And
I don't.
You know what?
He tried.
I think if you play Oklahoma State again, you need to put a stipulation on it. You know, since we're so tired of this matchup, let's make it interesting. Gundy, if Ole Miss beats you, you got to shave the mullet.
You got to shave that stupid-looking mullet because he's such a try-hard to be cool. But if you look back through the era, he's not really cool. He's more just he's a tool bag.
So like that in high school, you had that that kid was kind of in the middle as far as popularity, who was just trying to ascend to the top ranks, but never can quite get there.
Oh yeah. And he's such a but I say this, I think they win Bedlam today, and they could have an outside shot of jumping in that top four. I know we talked about our playoff top four, and none of us really mentioned Oklahoma State, but you know, what's the playoff committee do if they win this game and then win the Big 12 championship? Yeah. Do they give them more pull? Do they hop Notre Dame? Do they hop Cincinnati? Because you know that they're itching to piss Cincinnati off with this playoff thing.
Yeah,
so,
and
I don't know, man.
And these weeks are the ones that matter in terms of the college football playoff rankings.
Oh yeah.
And the previous weeks where everybody's kind of getting bent out of shape just because of where Alabama's ranked or where Ohio State's ranked or whatever.
It's all coming to roost.
It really didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Now it really matters.
It's all going to come to fruition. It's all going to work itself out. Either Alabama's going to piss people off and beat Georgia, or all right, let's skip this. I know you can't do this as a Bama fan, but
can do that.
Hypothetically, you beat Auburn. Say the only way to really upset the apple cart to me for Bama at this point is beating Georgia, and then that'll knock some teams out. But say things run the course, man. There's chaos is going to work itself out. All these people gnashing their teeth over Bama or over whoever. You got Michigan and Ohio State. They're going to knock it. Someone's going to knock each other out in that deal today.
Great point by Michael Petyak. Is anyone in the Big 12 really all that much better than Cincinnati?
Probably not.
Not really. It's if you look at it, man, it's kind of the same tier.
But man, I watched Cincinnati last night because I had them in that stupid pick'em league, and have they really been impressive in the wins? They've beat Notre Dame, they beat Indiana, who was supposed to be good, but Indiana's proved that they're not all that great. I mean, they're good, but they're not great.
They're not. I don't think they're even 500.
But of course, I agree, Michael. I'm not sold at how big the Big 12 is. Who have they beaten outside of their conference? They don't beat anybody outside of their conference. It's real ugly inside. It's not the offensive conference it used to be. Baylor's winning with defense. Oklahoma State's winning with defense. Oklahoma's now got a quarterback issue. They went to the Caleb Williams kid, and now he's looked rough the last 2 weeks. And they're back to the Rattler.
And isn't it funny how as soon as Caleb Williams came off the bench, they're already promoting him for a Heisman?
2 weeks in.
Yeah, 2 weeks in, and at that point in the season, I'm like, come on, guys, quit.
It's ridiculous. And now they're, Stroud, they're doing the same thing. They don't want Matt to win the Heisman. Look, you want to know who should win the Heisman? Take Matt Corral off Ole Miss, and what's their record?
Well, if you look, I've talked to people about this. If you look at the three top candidates, and let's face it, it really is, it's Stroud, it's Bryce Young, It's Matt Corral. If you ask yourself, if we take away one of these guys from their team, what does their team look like? You take away Matt Corral, that's the heart and soul of Ole Miss. Ole Miss is done.
Yeah, they're a different team, man.
The fact that you won 10 games this year with a limited roster. I mean, you're playing with second, third string guys. Some walk-ons in some places
against
and
Auburn,
still finding ways to win with Matt Corral. That to me is worthy of a Heisman.
Yeah. Well, you go to Auburn, one of the games he lost, and 2/3 of his offense receiving yards went to walk-ons. I mean, yeah, he was, and it's still keeping them in games. He had he got hurt during the year. I don't know. The Heisman hadn't been what the Heisman was supposed to be since the 90s. It's all it's an ESPN hype thing now, which is sad. It's no longer the best player on the best team or who means the most to their team. But I know I'm a rebel, and I'll fight for this kid to the end because he did something at Ole Miss it's never been done, which is another feather in his cap for maybe why he should win it. He did something that Eli couldn't do, that Archie couldn't do, that a bunch of really good dudes couldn't do, Like I said, I know I'm a homer, but Matt's the most valuable player to his team in college football.
You're not really being a homer. I mean, it's realistic. It's objective, But if you also look at the Heisman itself, it's supposed to be the award for the best player overall in college football. It's a quarterback award. Let's call it what it is. We've had a couple other guys like a Derrick Henry or Devontae Smith last year, but it's been a glorified quarterback award. Make it
we've had
it should be.
Two receivers have won it in our lifetime, and one prior was Desmond Howard in 1990 until Smith won it. And we know that, you tell me Randy Moss or some of these dudes weren't the most dominant people in college football. I know he was at Marshall. That might be a bad example, but
still, man. I mean, he was insane.
Oh yeah. And that's the sad thing. They should. I mean, they've got the Davey O'Brien. They've already got an award for a quarterback. They do need to kind of spread that love a little bit. Look, I think there's going to be a guy today. I don't want to get off Ole Miss too much because I know we're really going to get into the Iron Bowl. But I think there's a guy today on defense for Alabama that in another. And I know he's been on national TV all year, but I think he may have a game today that really starts getting the rest of the nation's attention because the whole country tunes into the Iron Bowl. Will Anderson could be one of the next defender we see kind of marking his name off on that Heisman hype list where we see a defender pop in there if he has another year like next year like this year.
Yeah, I mean, Will Anderson, and let's just say, call it what it is, he should be in the top 4, heading to New York.
I feel bad for Sam Williams. Sam Williams at Ole Miss, man, is absolutely, a beast, a man-child. He broke Ole Miss a single season.
Got lost.
Unfortunately, he's playing in a season where a Derek Thomas-like dude's at Alabama. But, man, got to give some props to Sam Williams.
Without a doubt.
We were just going off on Matt. If Sam Williams isn't on that field Thursday night in the Egg Bowl, man, he single-handedly with a 3-man pass rush gave Mississippi State fits. And, man, that's tough to do when it's 3-on-5 and they know you're the man. And they were triple-teaming him at times. It's much like Anderson faces. But, again, if he didn't have Will in the SEC, there's a lot of chatter about a big Sam.
Well, and in Sam's defense, he didn't really have all the hype coming in. Not anything because of what he didn't do, because he's certainly doing it. But, Will Anderson has been a household name since last year. So he's been on the minds of everybody and been an attention getter since last year. We're just learning about Sam kind of, midway through this season. And we're saying, hey, this guy's a baller. This guy needs to have the props, needs to have the respect. And he's in the same league as Mr. Anderson.
Oh, yeah, he is. Difference is, Sam's a senior. Will's still, like you've heard. I mean, I'm not a expert when it comes to technique of the defensive end at the pro level, but you've heard guys at that level like Roman Harper and stuff say Will's still raw. So that's the difference in the two. I think Sam and Will may be about the same guy. One's just a senior that's kind of raw, and one's a sophomore that's raw. By the time, which we're not going to see Will Anderson, the senior, be real, but next year you'll see even a more insane version of Will Anderson. You can't nap yet. You got about an hour or two to make it through. We got to have your comments plugging away on here. Mama's breakfast pretty good there, Michael? Hold on, let me. I'm about to check on our guest here. He should be popping in. Let's see. Oh! I see someone in the waiting room. All right, Rebel Nation. I know you're pumped about this. A man that really needs no introduction. He sent an entire fan base into a frenzy with a video this week. I'm giving it credit for pushing us over the edge down in Starkville, Mississippi. OG Landshark, one, Jerrell Powe. How you doing, my man?
Gentlemen, how y'all doing, man? I'm doing wonderful.
Good morning. Good morning.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know. You might have to start. You might get some liability claims from people going out like Latimer from the program and headbutting their neighbor's car windshields after watching that video. I mean, how did that come about, man? How did you get involved to do that?
Well, I was just asked to do it on Monday. I got contacted from my buddy Paris Buchanan up at Ole Miss, and he asked me would I do it, and we did it, and it turned out great.
Dude, turned out great. You now, as soon as the game was over, silence is golden. Classic. Is now a line that will, so was this, let me ask you this, was this your first time? I didn't know I was texting you and you were in the damn stadium. Was this your first time as a fan to be in Starkville?
My first time as a fan going to Starkville. I see what the fans always talked about now. Them damn cowbell was so.
Man, who you telling?
Is it different in the stadium versus on the field hearing them?
I wouldn't say that. It was because it got routed. I mean, because especially how it is when the momentum shift and this and that. So when you playing as a player, it can get real hectic. But just being there, just being right there by it was real annoying.
Do you really hear it as a player though? Because you're so in tune with what your assignment is and what you have to do. Do you really hear any of it?
Different aspects of the game. I mean, when you're trying to get the play or hear your linebacker giving you the play, that's when it plays a major role. Like, listening and stuff. So, I mean, just really annoyed as a fan, though, when you're in the stadium and listening like that.
Trust me, brother. I've been there plenty of times cheering y'all on, dealing with it. Well, as a fan, tell me about the experience, man. What was it like going? Did you experience any of the crazy that we've dealt with? People ringing bells in your face, though. I mean, I've had shit on it.
I doubt they did that to him.
I mean, all the noise I've been talking on Twitter, I really thought that it was going to be some fans probably talking crazy or whatever, but I mean, I didn't experience none of that.
So what you're saying? Oh, go ahead. You look a little more intimidating than me, I guess, is what the deal is. Well, man, dude, seeing the pictures of you holding.
Plus, we ain't have to worry about it. We ain't had to worry about them fucking with us because they beat us out of the stadium before we left. We emptied it, baby. You were out there in the front starting hotty-totty. Man, Jerrell, I don't know if you realize, dude, if we're starting to build a Rushmore in Oxford right now, your name's getting etched on the list. Like it's the love that's it's so exciting because as an Ole Miss fan, not just to be good again, but to see faces that we love back ingrained with the program doing what you're doing. Seeing you in the locker room, that picture with Matt, man, that's some cool stuff. How was that experience now again? I mean, I was like a kid in the candy store, to be honest with you, man. Just these guys have brought so much joy and excitement back to the town, and the thing they was able to accomplish as a team this year is just crazy. So, I mean, I was just like a kid just to be around them, if they know it or not. But that's what we're trying to do, bring that fun atmosphere back to Oxford and, like, get a lot of older guys involved in this winning tradition that we have at Ole Miss, and we turn this thing around. So just trying to get more guys involved, man.
Well, it is, man. You see, like you said, I follow you guys. This is not new. You're seeing things that you did, the interactions with you and Rowe and Trip Elston and all these guys that are from different generations. Rebels are now cheering on the Rebels with each other, and Moncrief and all those guys, man. It's just, again, it's different. It feels different, man.
Yeah, well, we got this thing turning around, and Lane and them is doing a great job, man. Hats off to them. Like I said before, it's important that we get the older guys involved. There's a lot of guys that want to be involved and don't know how to get involved. So,
yeah,
you got guys like Mike Wallace called me and asked for tickets. I said, "What?
Seriously?
Man, you serious? Man, hold on, man."
Wait, hold on. We got to get Keith. Hey, Pete Boone ain't running the ship no more. We got Keith Carter. We got to get this fixed.
Yeah. That should be.
This ain't the one. Huh?
Mike Wallace want to be involved, and he don't know how to get. He's like, man, I don't know how to get tickets. I don't know what. I'm like, what? Hold on, nah.
How's that possible?
It's not. Yeah, so it's going. We got a lot of things we're working on.
it's gonna be super, super big and crazy next year. Like I said, we got a lot of things. A lot of guys want to be involved. We've been working on a lot of things, just throwing a lot of ideas out there. It's gonna be real, real fun next year. We finna turn this game day experience into a big party.
No, so this is just the beginning. You're telling the Rebel Nation that we can expect more Powe, more former Rebels, more excitement next year than we got this year.
You're gonna see a lot of the Michael Orrs, the Jamarcus Sanford, the Parade Jerrys, the Ashley Palmers, the Greg Hardys, a lot of these guys, even the guys that were behind me. We're gonna get a lot of those guys involved. Like you said, the Moncriefs, the Trey Epson, the Cody Pierce, all these guys gonna get involved.
Hey, I agree with Michael there. I'm a Bama guy. And I want to be involved.
Yeah, my other co-host that when we did our first interview, he's at some family in North Alabama today. He's hurting that he can't be on with you. Trust me, he's sad that he loved talking with you, but he just said, "Hell, I'm a Bama fan and I want to get involved." Dude, to say that, I sent that video. I'm in the heart of Alabama. I got a lot of Bama family and all that. I sent it to all them, and man, they were all going crazy over the video. Yeah. Like that resonates with anybody who has a pulse for football, man.
Yeah, man. Your voice. I always thought I had a terrible voice. I don't even like leaving voicemail. I don't like my voicemail, and I don't like leaving voicemail, but everybody was talking about the voice.
Dude,
terrible.
Well, it wasn't just the voice. It's almost. How many times did you run through it? Because the timing when you said, and as they said, silence.
Man, to be honest with you, I did that about 3-4 times, and I was just so after I read, I was just so passionate and fired up and ready to talk shit. I got a lot of Mississippi State buddies, Charles Burns, Jesse Bowman. I mean, I was just so ready to send it to them and talk noise. So I think that's where the passion came from, that fire. Doing it. So, I mean, just so I could get this thing right, just send it to them to talk shit.
I love it, man.
The whole time I'm recording, I'm thinking about them. Like, I got to send this to KJ Wright because I seen his tweet. I'm going to send this to his ass and tell him to bet something.
Oh, so you'd send it to KJ?
No, he saw it. We follow one another on social media, so I DM'd it to him. Lexi Cox and all them boys, Big Jeff Simmons.
Well, you said in the video, they going to talk, so let them talk. And we know. But you telling me you didn't do a little talking, Powe?
Oh, you know that. I've been DMing them and texting them all week long. None of them wanted to bet, so they didn't have faith in their little team. They were talking noise, but they didn't want no problem. KJ did all that talk. That tweet they put up, but he didn't want no smoke.
Man, like I said, it's it's infectious. You could hear it through your voice. You say you don't like your voice, but man, the timing of that was just so spot on. It was just good. We're gonna be pumped up to hear you do it some more here in the future, man. I'm sure the rest of the Rebel Nation just kind of got a little more excited on this Saturday to hear what you said about what's to come.
Yeah, so I told them if they want me to do anything else, just let me know.
Hey, I got one message board question from if I don't ask that it's a debate that you can settle, and if anybody can settle this, it's you, big guy. All right, say that they finally prosecute you for murder in that 2008 Egg Bowl when y'all killed all of the Mississippi State quarterbacks. And you're on death row, and death row says you got one meal from Oxford, Mississippi. What is your final meal from Oxford, Mississippi on death row for murder in Mississippi State in 2008?
I got to choose one restaurant, or can I choose different things from restaurant?
Oh, man, you're going to that's just going to blow the debate up because they always debate which is the best. Choose one restaurant, but then you can choose a meal too.
Okay. All right. My last meal, if I had to choose a restaurant from Oxford.
I stumped him.
Listen, I'm gonna probably go with Bourrée.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna go.
What? And it's gonna be one of everything, or what's the platter?
Probably get a steak from over there. I like their steaks. Now, but if I had to choose different things, I would go to Old Venice and get me some crawfish rolls for an appetizer.
Ooh. Okay.
I go to Ajax and get me some. I love their butter beans and fried okra.
Oh, man.
I think I like the way you're answering it better now than just telling me one. You give me the best of each spot.
Like I said, the steak from Boo-Ray, little breakfast. I like to watch, and of course, I like the Beacon.
Oh, yeah.
Mix it up right there with a little bit of some watch pancakes and get some bacon and grits from the Beacon.
Did you ever go out on the town and hit up the Exxon chicken on a stick?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I forgot all about that.
You're
Chicken on man,
Chicken on a stick. We got to go to Oldie and get the catfish.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
you not mentioning catfish is almost crime, man. You were busting somebody on that catfish just earlier.
I'm going to have the catfish, too. I got to throw that. That's why I say, can I choose different things?
Oh, yeah. It's just too hard to pick one. Well, that's why I say it's a funny debate. I ask the message board. I always ask when I have you guys on because I know the fans like to ask some questions or whatnot. And one of the big debates is, well, where would he eat in Oxford? Where's that final meal? Because I remember when I was up one time, I saw old big Tunsil at Ajax plowing it down, and I think I heard that was his favorite place.
Good food. Good food. It's hard to miss in Oxford.
Well, are you going to the Sugar Bowl? You going to be wherever it's at?
I'm going to be there.
Man.
Mandatory.
Well, man, Powe, God, man, it's so good to have you back, man. It's so good, like I said, to see Ole Miss involving you guys. We're winning again. You starting hotty-toddy in front of the, holding the Egg Bowl trophy. Man, I was kind of hoping something crazy would have happened in Starkville, but I guess I didn't take into account that, you're a little bit bigger dude than me. Ain't nobody going to be talking trash to you walking down the street.
I went into the restroom at halftime. I thought I would probably get a little smack, but I mean, they was okay.
I got you. Oh, my little girl wants to know, where did you, and I bet a lot of Ole Miss fans, that powder blue Ole Miss, where'd you get that at?
At Rebel Rags.
Rebel Rags?
The SEC, a lot of people was asking about the powder blue SEC pullover. I got that at Rebel Rag as well.
One of the things I do want to get your thoughts on is the defense and the maturation that we've seen right before our eyes. Used to be a liability for the Rebels, but now in these last few weeks, man, they really have grown up and they've been responsible for a lot of the success. Can you talk about that maturation you saw, and then also too Sam Williams, man, that guy. We have Will Anderson, but y'all got Sam Williams, and that dude is a beast. But yeah, man, give me your thoughts on that.
Hats off to DJ Durkin. Hats off to the defense, man. I mean, I know I talked when I came on the show last time. I know I talked about we need a lot of ass.
Yeah.
But hey, man, those guys, KD Hill, 55, he doing a hell of a job of holding the point of attack. I've been watching him. He does a great job using his hands, moving his feet, and moving lateral. Like you said, Sam Williams coming off that edge, man. I was excited to see how he did against a Charles Cross, who's a potential first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I mean, him and Charles went at it, and I know we had to slam over to we flipped him over to the right side. He was able, but the rush he was getting on a guy like Charles Cross, who's gonna probably play 10 damn years in the NFL.
Yeah,
hell of a
easy.
player.
Well, they were triple teaming him. They were triple teaming him when he was on Cross's side.
I was just finna say that. Listen, that's what I'm coming. Listen. That's what I think. What he was able to do, they was chipping him. And I'm sitting there saying that's a first rounder. Y'all should have been chipping him when y'all had him over when he was over there lined up on 78, the right tackle. I don't know why they did that. I mean, Charles is a hell of a player, but they was triple teaming him. Saying once he got that motor hot, and he was coming off that edge. But hats off to them guys, man. They got better and better every week. I mean, that defense, they showed up when we needed them the most.
Well, and this is the armchair quarterbacking. We blitz finally. God, they got down on the goal line, and we finally brought the blitz with
with 35.
With 35, Robinson, and boy, he busted him. And then I'm screaming the rest of the game, why are we not blitzing on the, when we know it's coming? But obviously, Durkin, I'm an idiot, and it worked, and we held them to 6 points until the fourth quarter. Is there a time? I mean, why do you think it is? I mean, can you tell schematically why we wouldn't blitz in those situations, why it worked?
Well, I think the thing was, from what I seen, is we wanted to keep everything in front of him. We knew this guy loved to try to. We knew they were gonna throw the ball 100 times a game, right? Mm-hmm. So we was dropping a lot in coverage and trying to keep everything in front of forcing this guy to throw the ball short and then coming up, rallying, and tackling. The thing we knew that I guess this is what I saw. This is what I think. I think that we knew they didn't have no field goal kicker.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep everything short, force them to just, if y'all want to keep dumping this damn ball out 3 yards, we'll come up and tackle, and we'll try to get them in the fourth down and try to force them to kick a field goal. The thing was not to give up the big play.
Yeah.
And if this guy tried to get greedy, we knew we could force him into throwing the ball and making a mistake, possibly getting an interception. He did, and you could see he getting frustrated. You could see Will was getting frustrated. He wanted that big play, and he's not a guy that runs. And I seen that's why we was taking our defensive end and spreading them out. We was rushing wide. We were rushing real wide, forcing him to step up. He's not a runner or throw the ball short and keep everything up in front of us, rally and tackle. And it worked out real well.
Yeah, it did, man. A lot better than if you would have told me we held State to 6 points through the third quarter, man, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have told you were a liar, the way their offense and the way I expected the bend don't break, but I expected a little more breaking, man. It was just, like you said, as a fan, you're wanting to blitz, but what DJ's doing is work. Like you said, you got to give credit to DJ Durkin. He took a lot of people doubted that dude.
Yeah, a lot of people doubted that scheme, but it got better and better. So that just show you those guys, they bought in. They really bought in week in and week out. You know,
one of the things I saw was that y'all just were able to impose your will physically on Mississippi State. And anytime Mississippi State runs into that, at least this season, they haven't done too well, and they're not able to really catch any hint of momentum. And y'all control the game from that aspect, and that was huge.
I think that, like I said, the defense, like you said, they was able to impose their will. They got better and better. When Sam got his motor hot, when I seen him got that first sack, I knew it was over with for him then. I knew we was going to feed off that energy.
As a defensive guy, you got your own rooms. You got your defensive room and your offensive room. Y'all really are. Y'all are one team, but a lot of times it's two teams working, and what's it like as a defensive player when you got a guy like Matt Corral that is just a straight-up warrior that is going to do what he did?
It's by like having Dexter McCluster. I tell Dex, I used to tell Dex all the time, I felt so good when I knew 22 was on the field because I knew he was going to make a play. I knew it wasn't going to be that many 3-and-outs. So you just feel comfortable having those guys on your team because they're going to get the ball and put it in the end zone.
Yeah. Look, and by the end, man, it's you. Like you said, there's a belief that grows in certain teams. That 09-08 team, man, y'all hit a stride. You just believed it was going to happen. It's got to kind of help you out as a defense. Like you said, we were struggling earlier in the year, but man, our defense got us through the month of November, man. So it's good. Like I said, I wanted to hear it.
Football, complimentary football. I said it's just playing complimentary football, relying on all three phases, putting each phase in a good position to win. So that defense should know when they need. Everybody knew we got an explosive offense, but that defense, with that defense playing the way they playing, we can beat anybody.
I agree, man. If our defense gets stops, Herb Street said it in the first game, that this offense ain't anything you want to play with. And now that Matt's healthy and we've got that threat to run, Matt's got that threat to run again, man. I hate that we didn't get Auburn. I hate we got Auburn with all the injuries.
I was talking to somebody about that the other night, man. That game hunted me, man. I hate that we didn't, we wasn't able to. I could have lived with it if they'd have beat us with two of our receivers. Even if we just had a healthy Drummond, he went down in like the first quarter. And then our quarterback came back on straight wheel. So, and we still had an opportunity to beat them. So I just really wish if we'd lost that game, I just really wish we would have had healthier players.
Well, and I hate to be that guy because if we'd have played them in this time, we would beat them. Hey, the SEC schedule is what it is. They call it a grind for a reason, but there's no doubt, man. That's going to be the big what if of the season because look, we go into that game healthy. We are the better team. I think we beat Auburn. We're in the conversation right now, my man. Right?
It's about like that. I forgot what year it was. What, that 4th and 25 against Arkansas?
Yeah, that was 15.
If we stopped that play. we win the game. We go to the SEC championship. We beat Alabama that year. Everybody knew anybody who was coming from the West was going to beat Florida that year. The East was down that year. I mean, it's just always that one game holding us back.
Yeah, it's the life of a rebel. But it feels different now.
Yeah, it feels different. These guys turning the corner.
Well, and different, and this is what my co-host Michael's talking about, and even Justin. You know, I'm sitting there, even when we're up 17, chewing my fingernails off. Here it comes, expecting the worst. Here comes that big. I hope you heard this stupid thing we do at Ole Miss, but the "We Are Ole Miss" moment. That 4th and 25, that's just crap we put on ourselves. But it's different, man. We didn't. We won with defense when we expected our defense to break. It didn't. So, man, I'm hoping, buddy. I'm hoping we got a new day. Like I said, it seems like it with you guys all coming back, all hyped up. You know, seems a little different.
I think everybody is seeing what's going on and starting to really, really buy in from every aspect. I think we, with a couple more key recruitments coming in, this team right here is going to be hell to deal with next year.
Got to recruit. That's the lifeblood, man. We got to lock down the SIP. You talked about needing some ass. There's some ass in Mississippi recruiting this year.
It is. Big Jaheim Otis, we got to get him.
I mean, he's basically, you know, he ain't rated as high as the number one parade All-American, Mr. Jerrell Powe, but hey, he is a Powe. He's that big body that we can put in the middle.
He's a big boy. I seen him at the LSU game. I'm like, damn, man.
Really, if a boy makes you say damn,
he big. That's a big young man.
Because man, Powe, you ain't won no small fry contest ever.
These kids in Mississippi look like grown men coming into college, man. It's unreal.
But it'd be good to get him though. We need him. And with the way that defense playing, if you got a big body like that up front, eating 2-3 guys up, so it make it much better.
Well, man, Mr. Powe, now that we get to take a breath for a little bit, we got the egg, we've silenced the bells, we get to kind of see how things fall. Where do you see some stuff falling, man? How do you see this thing shaking out? With the playoff or some game. I'm gonna ask you some games today, but how do you see some of this shaking out?
I really, as far as like the playoffs, the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Alabama, Georgia, Cincinnati, Ohio State. Ohio State gonna dominate Michigan. Even though my son, godfather George, he was linebacker coach at Michigan. I think Ohio State is gonna find a way to pull it off.
Really? Wait, so you think if you just said Bama though, so that means you think Bama might pop Georgia in the SEC championship? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm rooting for. I heard that we needed them to win so we can go to the Sugar Bowl. So I mean, I'm gonna root for Bama. First thing in the West.
Hey, we'll take it though.
Jerrell, you just lit up the other side of the. Half of us are Ole Miss, half of us are Bama. You just lit up the other side of the fan base with that, buddy.
They in the West, and plus I like Bama a little bit.
Hey, I'll take that.
I'm a Saban fan. I mean, for a team to be able to accomplish what they have accomplished, it's hard.
Speaking of that, did you catch Saban's rant the other day? Did you?
Yeah, I seen that.
What were your thoughts on that as an outsider?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like everything he said. I like when he could have reported off. He gnawed on their ass.
Man, it's hard.
Wade posted. That's how I saw it. So.
Oh, yeah. Did he? Well, and that's the thing about Saban at this point. Of course, you're tired of getting your ass beat by him, but you can't not respect who he is, what he does, how he goes about his process. That hard to not respect winning like that. And some,
you gotta respect.
I tell you what, I don't think Georgia. Georgia is something to say. I know we haven't, unfortunately, at Ole Miss done this, but when you go through an entire season untested and your first test is coming from Alabama, man, that could get.
I'm gonna tell you, Alabama. I feel like Alabama got a team Alabama definitely got a team that can beat them. Seriously, Alabama gonna be ready for them.
Well, I think they match up well. Georgia hadn't had to throw the ball all year. All they've had to do is run the ball. Well, that's where Bama's best at. Their run defense isn't suspect. It's Bama's secondary that's kind of had some issues. That's interesting, man. See, I like it. Poe's putting two SEC teams in the final and sending our boys down to New Orleans. I'm gonna have to meet you over there in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. Who's gonna win the Iron? But you got any plays for today?
In Alabama, you said who's gonna win the Iron Bowl?
Yeah. Well, I know you
Alabama win that.
they gonna cover the spread.
Oh yeah. No, well, you know what? Yeah, they gonna cover it. Bow out. Alabama gonna steamroll them.
Okay. It's 19. Huh?
They gonna cover the spread. Ohio State gonna cover the spread.
So you got Ohio State covering the mind. What is it, down to 8?
It was 7, wasn't it? Was it
7? Oh, is it moved down to 7?
I think last I looked, it was at 7.
So you like Ohio State, but you don't think Harbaugh can win a big game?
No, we can't.
I ain't gonna say that. I just think Ohio State knows what's at stake, and they're gonna handle that business.
I got you. Well, look, man, I'll say that Harbaugh's yet to do it. I mean, the only big game he played in this year, Michigan State beat him. I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. There's, man, that used to be a good rivalry. I would ask about Florida State, but I don't think anybody even cares about that game no more.
I had to remind myself they were playing today. It's that bad.
I mean,
that's the most watched rivalry of all time, but nobody even cares about them.
We were joking before the show. They could do a Where Are They Now 90 show on football rivalries. You know, Miami, Florida State used to be the game you had to watch. Tennessee, Florida used to be, must watch. Don't nobody care about them games no more.
Nah, that's over with for them.
No, now it's the Egg Bowl the whole world's watching, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now today,
the world's gonna be watching.
Oh, dude, can you
want to see a show?
Can you give it to me?
Give them a show, but not the one they came for.
Because
I like that.
I want to hear the silence part, man.
It's golden.
Mr. Man, Jerrell, I can't thank you enough for coming on our show, giving us this time. Because shoot, we're nobodies, and man, you become Mr. Popular about all over again at Ole Miss. You could run for mayor of Oxford and probably win right now, buddy. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug right before we let you roll?
Yeah, come here, Jace.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Right here. Take it out your mouth. Stop. We got the birthday boy. Tell them who your favorite college team is.
Ole Miss.
Huh?
Hot.
What we say over here? Huh? Hotty what?
Hotty toddy.
That's right.
Can you give me a land shark?
Land shark. He want to go back.
Is it his birthday?
Yeah, his birthday was actually
Happy birthday.
Thanksgiving night, so they got me a win. Ole Miss got us a win. I told him it was a birthday present.
Hey, you can't beat that. My birthday is during the Egg Bowl every year too, so my birthday is kind of contingent on how we do. So it was a good one for me as well. So man, that's awesome. Jerrell, appreciate you, brother. Hotty toddy.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We got to get ready for this birthday party now.
All right, land shark. Give me one more land shark, brother. Hotty toddy, man. And we'll talk to you again sometime.
No doubt. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
thank you,
problem.
Brother.
I wonder if he still has the golden egg with him. I don't
know.
Tell him to give it back.
I wouldn't. I'm not the guy that they send from Ole Miss. Like, hey, you got to go get that Egg Bowl trophy from Powe. No, you get that dude.
Yeah. Pretty cool to see his son though. I think his son's already a 3-star.
He is. He's a 3-star running back.
Yeah, I checked out Rivals earlier before we jumped on the show.
Lane offered him after the game. He offered him a scholarship on the sideline. Oh man, he's such a great. He's so energetic, so personable, and like I said, man, he's a rock star in Oxford right now. He's something else, man. He's a really good guy. We texted throughout the game. Just to hear that from a player that I admired, to see him now getting to be a fan like us, and he's just as giddy as I am about it. It's really cool, man. Poe's awesome.
I thought it was pretty mind-blowing that you have some alumni football players trying to figure out how to get tickets and get involved. That's kind of the thing, like, do you really have to ask the question? Don't you just kind of already have that ingrained?
Well, and I didn't want to get into it because it's a sore subject, but the Ole Miss's former AD Pete Boone was a penny pinching chump, and he set Ole Miss back in a lot of those ways, and he did things like that to Poe. Poe came in, and I hate it. I'd tell this story, but actually, this is the problem. Back in with bringing players home, Poe came back to Ole Miss after he left Ole Miss. He was in the practice facility and got asked to leave because he wasn't a part of the team by Pete Boone and his minions. Here's the AD asking a former great Rebel to leave, and that's the man. Ole Miss had a lot of black eyes that we gave ourselves, but now I don't really want to get into it because it's a new day and we've got Keith Carter and we're obviously bringing these guys back and we're making them feel loved and involved, as you can tell by how excited he is.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
no, there was a day where we didn't make our former players feel loved, and how stupid can you be as a marketing?
That's one of the biggest parts about building a program is having the presence there of former players, former alumni, especially who made a difference in the football program. Getting a chance to mentor these young kids, and it means a lot to the players, the current players, to see those guys getting involved and giving their time and then learning things, being taught valuable lessons from them. Man, that's one of the things that Coach Saban advocated from day one is bringing the former alumni, back.
And that's what I was going to say. Alabama every year, and I'm pretty sure I may be off on this, but every year they send a care package with Bama garb or the new season to every player they have, every former player, every player in the league gets Julio. I've seen the picture. All of them get a care package with Alabama garb because that's marketing, that's branding. You want those players showing showing the Ole Miss. And the fact that they didn't embrace that, but that's why you see me keep saying the term, it feels new, it feels different. We've won before. Freeze did it, but this does feel different. It feels like we're doing it the right, very much the right way, the way it's supposed to be done. And look, I got to give Bama some credit for this. Where did Kiffin learn most of this? He got most of his reorganization in Tuscaloosa, Alabama from Saban. So, and it's apparent in the way he's running things at Ole Miss. He's doing it in a lot of Alabama ways. And for one, and a lot of people at Ole Miss are pissed because they've lost access. Like Saban, he got there and said, "Hey, I want your money, but get out of my way." He's doing those things, and people that want that access over the program are getting their pennies in a watch, but that's how Saban did it. And if you want to win, man, I want winning over access, and I love the way he's doing it. I love this is how he's,
Absolutely. One of the biggest things or components to getting a winning program is changing the culture. And that right there is a prime example of changing the culture, getting the former athletes back involved. And it also teaches the current players, which a lot of these new kids don't really appreciate the past.
No.
And you bring
don't know about it.
These veterans back, these alumni back, they can truly understand what the history is all about and how special it is.
Well, look, man, we grew up with the names. We know the Johnny Mussos, the Namus, the Stablers, the Mannings, the names that make our programs what they are. And like you said, that's when you lose that, you lose some of the passion, the pageantry, and the love for those programs. And it just, over time, you end up in situations like Ole Miss was, and for long segments, 5 and 6 year periods of dead periods until you bring that excitement back, man. It's marketing. You got to market.
Oh, yeah.
You got to sell.
It's a business
sell your
now,
brand.
man. Speaking of excitement, in 12 minutes, we're going to have AC Carter on this program in the house. And guys, if you've not watched the Bama Standard episodes when he's been on there, listen, you're not ready for what's about to be in here because this man, we're going to have church.
Yeah, well, and it's Iron Bowl. Like Iron Bowl, I can't imagine his blood ain't on a little bit higher of a boil today than it is just on a regular Tuesday with you knuckleheads.
I'm going to tell you right now, AC probably has so much energy, he probably hadn't slept at all this entire week just for the pure adrenaline and excitement that's pumping through his veins. Man, if you ever need to get motivated, this is a man you need to spend time with. And we're about to give you a small snippet of what he's all about. And for those of you who are not Alabama fans that are watching, AC was a fantastic wide receiver when I was in school there from 99 through 2003. Was a perfect pairing with Freddie Millens. I'm sure a lot of people remember that name. But he was one of the huge reasons why we had success in 1999, capturing our first SEC championship since 92, actually. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that and his involvement, especially against the Auburn Tigers, because he's got some interesting stories about games being played on the plains.
Oh yeah, I bet he does, and I'm excited about AC, and I've got a question for AC that my friend group's gonna love that I brought up to you, and I can't wait to ask him that will solve a 20-year-old mystery about his name.
A 20-year-old mystery.
Yeah. What is the mysterious C mean? And I'll ask him about that. And for those that don't know, it's AC Carter, and this was before you could look everything up on the internet, or maybe we were just too damn lazy, and we never knew what the C stood for. We knew it was Antonio Carter, and then we knew it was AC Carter, but We just started calling him Antonio Carter at the capstone. Speaking of, people are probably saying at the capstone, there is probably some confusion. Look, man, I know people were asking when we're going to talk, it's Iron Bowl or we're going to talk Iron Bowl. If you've watched this show, thank you. If you followed us, you know I'm a rebel. But there's also another element to Daniel Petty. I did graduate from Alabama, and the Egg Bowl's over. We won it. I'm going to celebrate it. But it's Iron Bowl day, and it's time to shed some skin.
Well, what we got going on here? I know if it was that kind of show.
Shot.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I like this.
Motherfucking Tide.
Woo.
It's Iron Bowl, baby. Roll Tide.
My Bama guys in the audience, Coach Smook, MFR Jones, Nick Saban Jr., I know y'all excited to see that.
Oh, man. Look. I love Ole Miss, but I absolutely adore my time at the capstone. I met the most beautiful woman in the world and married her from the capstone. She might have been on this little line here. It's Iron Bowl, baby. It's time for the Tide to roll. We're going down to the Native American burial ground to put them booger-eating plainsmen to sleep.
Tell you what, man, when that happened, I reverted back to my 5-year-old self watching Hulk Hogan come into the arenas. You know something there, brother. That's the kind of vibe I just got right then. Yeah, exactly. I hear you, Coach Smoot. Let's go.
Let's go. Look, man. Hey, as I've said it, don't have to say it again. I'm a rebel, but growing up in Mississippi, the Iron Bowl was the deal, man. I remember sitting there on Saturdays and my dad telling me, like, when I remember being like 8 or 9, it was the Bill Curry, Pat Dye era. Bama was playing to go to the Sugar Bowl, and I think Dye went for the tie, and it pissed my dad off. My dad was like, what a coward, and he called him go for the tie, Dye. And so at that time, Dad was like, hey, son, and he kind of let me know, this game is a big deal. Like, we love Ole Miss, we love the Egg Bowl, but this is kind of a big deal, this Iron Bowl thing. And so, man, I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm glad that I can claim it regardless of my fandom, man. I've got a degree that says I can yell Roll Tide and nobody can look at me funny on this day.
And for those of you outside the state of Alabama, I don't think you really understand the depth of this rivalry and how big of a deal it is. And I'm not taking anything away from any of the other rivalries that you're a part of, that you're excited about. It's different. And historically, when Alabama and Auburn have played each other, it's been for something more. It's not just bragging rights. It's usually the SEC West is on the line. The opportunity to represent the SEC and the SEC championship is on the line. And, in the past 10, 20 years, a national title has been on the line. So, this has a good, rich tradition, more than just the 365 days a year of bragging rights.
Well, and I think that's why you see so much more. They talked about it before the Egg Bowl, all the vitriol and the hate, and they showed all the fights. Well, because more times than not, that's all we've got is that game, that trophy. There's so many more times where this game, like you said, Justin, has meant so much more. There's been SEC championships on the line. Hell, there was a 3-year period when the state of Alabama won all the national titles, and Alabama wasn't all of them. Auburn was in the middle of that thing. I mean, I've been in the stadium for the Iron Bowl. It's special, man. There's a special feel to it. It's almost like I've been in the stadium for 2 of the biggest rivalries in all of sports. I was in Yankee Stadium for Red Sox Yankees, and I've been in the Iron Bowl for that. And there's just a different feel to it, man. There's just like I said, in the Egg Bowl, I'm nervous and there's hate, and I don't want to lose to these bastards because I'm gonna have to deal with them. You're in the Iron Bowl. It's like you're at an event. It's just something bigger.
And like Michael said, when it doesn't matter, usually the game gets ugly. And that's the games you kind of have to keep your eye on more than other games is, when that team that's kind of on the wrong end of it has nothing to lose, this is their Super Bowl. Yeah. And they're gonna come at you full throttle, forget what it says on the stat sheet, and like we were talking about earlier, mismatches. Today there's a lot of mismatches, in regards to Auburn, matched up against Alabama. But these guys are going to be – I expect their best game from each of the players. So, that's one thing you always have to take a look at.
Yeah. And can, I'm trying to be. I don't think there's going to be much of a game. I'm one of the weird people that this is going to take some pageantry air out of the balloon. Oh, anybody can win in these rivalry games. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, the better team takes care of business in these games, and you have the rare insanity. I won't kick 6. That happens.
Man, don't even mention that dang game. We're going to see plenty of those damn clips today on CBS because Gary has to force it down our throat. I'm glad there's not a drinking game, set up for how many times you actually see that clip because people will be on the floor by the second quarter.
But my point is, it's the anomaly. I've also seen Bama go down there and not let Auburn cross midfield.
And that's what I want to see.
In the all the pageantry and this is Bama on the other sideline and the Indian spirits of the world couldn't get them to cross midfield.
Did you tell Michael not to wish that evil on us? Do not say that name. Do not do that. We've already had that this year from Calzada from the A&M. Do not put that evil on us.
I'm going to put this Garcia thing a little bit to myth to rest. Everybody acts like that when they mention the Garcia as if he never had a good game before. Like he had played good before. He just went out of his mind that day. JT's never, or TJ Finley I haven't seen him have that game yet where he makes me even think he could be a Garcia. Someone else is getting up. Michael, you done fired them up now, man. You cannot say that on Iron Bowl Saturday, Michael. That's for,
Not at all. Keep that nastiness out of here.
He's reverse psychology in. Come on now.
Listen, and more for me, and of course all Alabama fans, the biggest thing for me, is ending that drought in Jordan Hare. That has not set well on our stomachs here. We sure as hell do not want to be 3 straight. So it is time to end the curse in Jordan Hare. I think Mississippi State may have broken it earlier, the curse of the Native American burial ground. But we really need to end it for sure today.
Well, look, man, again, pageantry, all that. You hear Beamer at South Carolina said we ran 2 plays and they couldn't stop it. Auburn, if you're going to beat Bama, you got to throw the ball, and I don't think Auburn has that ability. And something else that I noticed weird, I watched a lot of that South Carolina game. It seemed on third down conversions, they were taking Tank out of the game a lot of times on third down. That just blew my mind. Why you take your best weapon off the field on third down? Yeah, when he was breaking 12-yard runs kind of throughout the game. I'm not sure.
That's been a head scratcher this year. Is what is the offensive coordinator thinking? And it's not just in the South Carolina game. It's been several other games. Just kind of taking your best player out of it. They don't have the receivers to toss it down the field. So that's not a viable explanation. So why? And Jarquez Hunter, I'll give him props. That guy is a beast too. And I think when it's all said and done, he's probably going to have a better career than Bigsby.
Oh, that's a strong word.
Like
hey, we've got. Hey, I hate to cut you off, but we've got a guest in the portal that we're about to bring on. Man. And hey, we're going to talk more about that Harsin situation at Auburn. There may be more to that than just the Auburn. But I'm about to bring this man on. Let my boy Justin introduce him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of bringing on this show right now one of the most hype, most passionate, best there ever was to play the position at wide receiver, 1999 SEC champion, a guy that would live to embarrass you on the field, Mr. Antonio A.C. Carter. Roll Tide. What's going on, AC?
I have some internet. We'll have to let him catch up here. He's going to be really confused once he does with my Alabama shirt and my Ole Miss helmet.
He may have some questions for you, no doubt.
Man.
Okay,
he's coming back in.
What's up, AC? Was my intro a little too powerful for your service there? I think you muted yourself, AC.
AC, you're faster than your internet.
I think you muted yourself, buddy.
I think you're muted, AC. There we go. Now we got you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's do this today.
Hey, man, look, we don't eat, we don't sleep. It's Iron Bowl week.
That's right. That's exactly what I said before you came in here. I know this man hadn't slept one day this week. He's been so fired up.
I'm telling you, I'm chopping at the bit. I want to play. Suit me up, Nick Saban.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you.
That is, AC, man, fired up.
Oh, man, I am juiced up for the Iron Bowl, man. I got a big day ahead of me, but ain't nothing. I told my wife, whatever you need me to do today, it got to be done before 1 o'clock. If not, it won't get done.
Amen to that.
Man, what's up, fellas? Guys, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on this morning.
No, man, thank you. We were thinking this week, who can we get on to properly get our minds right for this Iron Bowl? And there was only one name that stood out amongst the rest, and that's my boy AC.
Man, yes, sir. You better shake it off. Whatever you got going on, get your mind right.
Does anything get your blood going more than this week? Anything?
Man, ain't nothing else. I tell everybody, man, this is it. This is it. This is the one. You know, I was just talking about, man, I don't know how Jim Harbaugh still got a job. He can't beat Ohio State. That won't happen down here.
No.
It don't happen.
You lose 2 times in a row to Auburn, and you walk in the plank.
Man, you looking for your wife looking at you crazy. What we gonna do, honey? You ain't beat them yet. You ain't beat them yet.
The coach's wife is on Indeed looking for a new job.
I'm telling you right now, is J.C. Penney's hard? Knows anybody.
Yes, sir. That's how serious it is. Those of you who are watching this show who are not a part of the Alabama fan base, this is life for us.
AC, better to win this game at home, or better to go on the road and shut down the crowd?
Man, it's better to always go in somebody else's house and go in their refrigerator and take what you want.
Yes. That needs to be.
Just go in their house and just walk in the front door, open the refrigerator, and say, "I want all that. Give me what's yours."
Yes, I'm going to turn that into a T-shirt.
That's I'm like, go into your house, go into your refrigerator, and take all of it.
All of it, whatever I want. And I bet you better not say nothing.
How much noise they talk on the field?
Man, we talk plenty trash. That's the fun of it, man. I tell you, this game is super exciting. But more important, it's about the fans. You know, the fans love it. It's a big time for this state. So, man, those guys, you know, they wearing that. You know, like Coach Saban. All right, buddy. Like Coach Saban was saying, you know, about the fans. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Uh-oh, we lost him. He got distracted. I think it's his kid's birthday too. I think it's a birthday. It must be everybody having birthdays this weekend.
You, man. But what a
good
better
gracious!
Gift than
I'm about ready to run through a wall.
I told you guys if you
weren't
ready.
Start. But you know, like Coach Saban was saying earlier this week, you know, don't nobody feel worse than those players. So you know, they want to do well not only for themselves but for the players. I mean, for the fans as well. So. Man, this is a big game, but at the same time, it's fun. You know, it's fun. You know, to answer your question, the trash talking is being done, but, man, it's awesome. It's a great atmosphere, and it's a great opportunity for those young men.
Well, let's dial it back, man, to your 1999 game, and that was a great Iron Bowl, and we had to face a little bit of adversity, but, you know, in the end, you know, we came away with that dub. But if you would, man, talk about that game that ultimately sent us to the SEC championship.
Man, you know, it was a big game. You know, Chris Sames and that offensive line took care of business. Sean Alexander had a great game. We ran the ball well. You know, I think I caught a few. I don't even remember if I caught a ball or what happened.
You did. There were several big plays you made in that game, actually.
Yeah, but I tell you, man, it was huge, our run game. And, man, I think that's what's going to be important today. I think we need a big one from B-Rob. Yep. You know, I think the offensive line need to step up, which they will. Ain't no doubt in my mind. Those guys going to be physical because, I mean, everybody know what is on the table for this game. So, but man, that 99 game was super exciting. it's always exciting. Like I said, when you go inside of someone else's home and take over.
Especially when it's them no good, dirty Auburn Tigers and you just shut them up.
Ain't no doubt, man. Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. This is what it's all about, man. This is what this thing. After the day, we got 365 days to either be smiling or be sad. Which one you gonna be?
And I don't feel like being sad anytime
Man,
soon.
we ain't gonna be sad. We
Not
gonna
at all.
dominate the day. We locking the gate. We ain't gonna let them out till we done with them.
Hey, AC, you don't know this because you couldn't know this, but there's been a question I personally wanted to ask you for like, what is it, not 21, whenever you were in college. I was in college at Bama the same time you were, so I've been wanting to ask it since you were in college. And this was before, we could look stuff up on the internet real good, or maybe we were too lazy and stupid. But I always knew Antonio Carter, and then we knew AC Carter, but none of us ever knew what the C stood for. And my wife was a Crimsonette, and when I told her you were coming on the show, she said, wait, Antonio Carter's coming on the show?
Yeah.
So dude, we always called you Antonio Carter because we didn't know what the other C meant. What does the C mean?
Man, so look. So Tank, just the true story. This is a little behind. No one knew this. So everyone, my name was Antonio Carter.
Yeah.
But everybody called me AC. So I never forget Tank, the equipment manager. He said, AC, he said, how do you feel if I put AC Carter on your jersey?
Yeah.
I said, well, what the C? He said, man, you AC. He said, don't mean. He said, you AC Carter. We just going like the Deuce, like everybody else, because he was trying to get,
a
that
name.
Deuce always going to be the Deuce. But he said, man, you're playing really well. You need to get your own name. So we're going to call you AC Carter. So that next week he did. He put AC Carter on the back of my jersey. And now Ellis Ponder, who is now the director of football ops, he was a football manager. Still to this day, like your wife does, he called me Antonio Carter.
Oh, so we weren't the only ones that did it.
No, Antonio Carter.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, that's crazy that we weren't the only ones, and it didn't mean anything. So no wonder we couldn't find it. It wasn't a name.
It isn't. My middle name is Dwayne. My name is Antonio.
Wow.
Dwayne
Okay.
So AD didn't have the same ring as AC.
No.
Tank, I never forget. Tank Gurley, the equipment manager, he asked me. He said, "What if I put instead of Carter, I'm gonna put AC Carter on the back of your jersey?" And at first I was like, He was like, "No." He said, "You start your own name here." And this when I said, "All right." And so the next game, I walked in the locker room and everybody saw it. They was like, "Man, AC Carter." He was like, "But your last name Carter." And so, man, it rung a bell, and here I am, AC Carter.
Dude, I'm so glad to have finally heard this story, because seriously, for 22 years of my life, when your name gets brought up in Alabama lore, oh yeah, Antonio Carter, man.
That's it.
Hey, let's talk about that number you wore, man. Not everybody can rock that deuce. And for those of you who are not in the Alabama Nation, if you don't know who David Palmer is, y'all need to do your research and watch some film.
Well, not just rocked it, you rocked it right after him.
You
I
did.
man.
So what did it mean to take on that number?
I was, man. So look, I'm gonna tell you another trivia fact. So
Okay.
I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. I grew up a diehard Seminole fan.
I was going to bring that up.
But my number from Little League through high school, I wore number 13. Well, that's what number I wanted. But Kev Bailey had number 13.
Ooh.
So I'll never forget, I came on my official visit, and Mike Dubose, Coach Sweeney, and Ronnie Cottrell, they were talking to me, and we walked through the stadium, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to wear number 2. And so I'm like, yeah, I was excited. But I was thinking Deion Sanders, prime time.
Prime time.
Hey,
I'm like, I went number 2, prime time. They were like, no.
You were prime time.
Prime time. They were like, David Palmer. I'm like, I had never heard of him.
Ooh,
I ain't
what?
know what they were. And so I'll never forget, they set me down, put me in front of the in front of the Jumbotron at the stadium. And they played David Palmer highlights. Man, I went crazy. I said, yes, I wear number 2. I will do it. That's
Yes,
me.
sir.
So, man, true story. After watching David Palmer highlights, I saw myself in that jersey. And prime time, he going to always have a place on my heart. But the Deuce was the real deal.
Yes, sir.
Dude, we put, on the 2-point conversion against Tennessee, the whole stadium, they put Deuce in at quarterback. They're like, well, he's going to run the ball. Still couldn't stop the man.
Couldn't stop him.
But
that's a powerful number. So to have the opportunity to wear it after him, and and get out there and do the best I could, man. I just went out there and played ball. But I knew that jersey was very, very powerful here, and that guy, he was a ball player, man. What an honor.
Well,
to run the number behind it.
Well, so was the one that wore it behind it. And I tell you, one of the coolest things to me when I finally got to go in the locker room at Alabama, and one of the things that really struck me that's neat, that makes you really appreciate that number you wear, is on Alabama. If you don't know this, in the Alabama locker room, they've got a tag of every player that came before you that wore that number.
Right.
And so every time you put that locker, was it like that when you were there? Did they have those plaques?
Yeah.
So, man, you know who you're representing every time you wear that number 2.
That's exactly right. And it meant something, again, after I saw the history, and I studied and learned a lot about the guy. But again, just his on the field play was unbelievable. So, man, I had to make sure I handled my business each and every, but not on game day. It starts in practice, And so for me to perform the way I did on Saturdays, I had to be prepared every week, man. So it was an honor to go out there and work my tail off to make sure I was the best Deuce I could be.
And you definitely were. And one of the things that you always said, you asked your wide receiver group, are you going to get in that paint today?
That's it.
That was it.
That was
who
the
today?
We going to go in there. I'm going to get in the paint before you. And man, that was the fun of it, man. We had an awesome group. I watch these young guys now, man. They are putting up phenomenal numbers. Offense and what we're doing offensively now is a lot different than what we did. This spread is kind of taking over. We was powered downhill. You're gonna get a few balls, but man, what these guys are doing. But I tell you, I played with an excellent group of receivers, and it started in our meeting room with Coach Sweeney, the head of our room. Our receiver coach, Dabo, was phenomenal, loved on us, taught us, held us accountable. He was an awesome role model. He was a young guy at the time, but Coach Sweeney was phenomenal. And, man, he made sure that we was able to go out there and play at our best. He did a great job of breaking the film down, putting us the drill work that we need was catered to exactly what we need to improve on. And then, he gave us that tough love. He wasn't afraid to say, hey, see, man, that is awful. Or, he wasn't just stroking us. Coach Sweeney loved us up. He coached us hard. So I'm always thank the world to him. So a lot of what we did was from Dabo, man. I just thank him so much for being a part of my life. And, man, it just trickled down in that room. He made us a brotherhood. We loved each other. Sam Collins, Jason McCadley, Lance Taylor, who's now the running back coach at Notre Dame, myself, Freddie, Shamar Buchanan, Tim Boyd. Man, we was a family, and we took care of each other. We loved each other. We would talk trash to each other. We would get on each other, not on the field and off the field. Man, that group was phenomenal. Our room was awesome, and, man, it was an honor to play with all them guys. And so, I watch these guys now. I still tell them we had a great group, too. We just ain't get as many opportunities as these guys did.
I was about to say, my wife was a little jealous. Like I said, she was in the band, and it was really a cool moment to see the $1 Million Band in the Macy's Day Parade and open up for Santa on Thanksgiving, and that's a big deal for them. So there was a little bit of jealousy, though. Is there a little bit of like, damn, man, I wish we'd had them offenses when I played?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
It is as a player, you see yourself, but, man, I'm thankful and grateful for what I did have, man. It was awesome. We did. Charlie Stubbs did come in, and we spread the ball. We were throwing the bubble in, and we had some opportunities, and it was awesome. But the game is faster. It's a lot different. But at the time of what we were doing, man, we was always like, we knew we was going to have a good day, especially with our run game. When you got to stop Sean Alexander, we gonna get man coverage, and we knew for a fact nobody in the country was gonna cover us one-on-one.
Not at all. Not at all.
So everybody talk about the receiver, you and Waddle and Devontae Smith. I'm so proud of them guys. I'm so proud of what they're representing. But, man, we put the foundation down. We helped them. I think not just David Paul, but a lot of good. I'm really good friends with Kevin Lee. That group, man, we always had some really great receivers. Coach Sweeney We had some guys that's come through there, but the game has changed a lot. But man, we have always had some great receivers. Man, you look at DJ Hall and you look at Tyrone Prothro. Man, that was a great group.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely.
Very underrated, not talked about enough.
Phenomenal.
I don't remember Bama not having a good receiving core in my lifetime. And it's like you said, it started with that group with Palmer and all them and Malone and all those guys back in that day.
Yeah.
And
man, we had a defense that Coach Starlin say, just stop them. We're gonna get us 3, and we got to win 3-0. You know, he relied on his defense, and you know, Coach Saban mindset was there for a while. But, you know, Coach Saban is intelligent enough and smart enough to know the game has changed. You got to score some points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you, who needs to get in that paint today for Alabama to be successful? Who are you keeping your eye on? I know being a receiver, you're probably looking at Jamison Williams, but I know you got a little special place in your heart for B-Rob. So who are you looking to be that guy?
B-Rob. Like I said, I love everything the guy represents. You know, with the transfer portal, the guys he's had to sit behind, but for him to persevere and endure and just continue to keep his head down, strap his boots up, put his chin strap in, on and his mouthpiece in his mouth, and just work and just was patient and waited for his opportunity. So, man, I think the world of B-Rob, being a hometown guy, you know, we have a relationship, but I love that guy to death, man, just because he could have left. He could have left and went anywhere else in the country and been a big-time player. But he stayed home and did what he was supposed to do and just worked. So I think B-Rob and the O-line needs to have a great game. We need to control the line of scrimmage. Defensively, of course, we need to step up and do some things a lot better. Defensively. But, you know, at the wideout position, I think Matchy got to step up and help. Yeah. Because we know what Williams going to do. Yeah. That guy's phenomenal.
Right.
You know, but
he's electric.
Yes, he is. But I think if we control the line of scrimmage and just go out there and play ball, man. You know, I think we've been playing a little bit uptight, and this is my personal opinion as me watching the game. I think, you know, Coach Saban answered a lot of those questions. You know, they talk about this rant that he went on, but he was just being honest. You know, those guys, I mean, when you play at Bama anywhere, man, those guys, they think so much is on their mind. They want to do well for themselves. They have personal goals. But at the same time, it's we before me. So they thinking about, and when I say we, I'm talking about the fan base. I'm talking about their teammates. I'm talking about everybody. You know, Coach Saban sets the culture, and that's what it's all about. That it ain't about me, it's about everyone. Mm-hmm. And Coach Saban is talking about the fans, the staff, the person who make the copies. Everyone makes this thing go, and them guys wear that. So, man, I just want them guys to relax and just go have fun. You know, I talk to these young guys, and I got 2 rules: football, great effort, and have fun. That's it. If you do those 2 things at 120%, man, the sky's the limit for you. Don't worry about nothing else. You just go out there and give your best and have some fun. And, man, it's going to take care of itself.
Absolutely. And you bring up a very, very good point. And this game today, one of the biggest factors is winning that mental battle, having your mind right, your head on straight when you come off that bus and you get on that field. Yeah, I mean, how big, and then also momentum. Momentum is so huge when it comes to this game. Taking control, putting your foot on the throat, and just being dominant.
Yes, man. So I'm just going to take those guys again. You know, that's part of that thing that Coach Saban talks about, staying focused, eliminating distractions. You know, you prepared well. And, you know, I live again by the 5 Ps. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. So it started today. It's about what you've done up until today. So, and I know for a fact that staff has done a phenomenal job to get these guys ready to play ball. They have given them every opportunity to do well. So, man, they just got to go out there and just, hey, those things, the external things, don't worry about it. Just go be the best. Do your 111. Do your job with discipline, physical, fast, and having fun, man. That's if you do that, it's gonna take care of itself, and that's part of maturity. You don't need guys like B-Rob to take control of that offensive huddle. You're gonna need guys on that Will Anderson to take control of that defense. You're gonna need some guys that got some substance, that got something about them that has stuck their fork in the ground, their foundation, and said, "Hey guys, this is what it's gonna take. This is what it's gonna be. Don't worry about nothing else. Let's play for one another." And so when they do that, man, it's going to take care of itself. I promise you. It's going to take care of itself. That's the mental toughness that is tough to do.
Yeah.
But you got to maintain it. But it take that leadership on both sides of the ball to keep them guys straight.
Like to see B-Rob step up, but I wouldn't expect anything less from a Hillcrest Patriot. So, man, I'm hoping that I'm an alum with old B-Rob, so seeing B-Rob kick butt for the Tide kind of makes my heart feel a little more because, man, it was for a while there, Hillcrest didn't put much at Alabama, and now we have. But, man, seeing B-Rob kind of be the man has been pretty sweet. Like you said, watching him, not so many kids today don't do what he did. They would have transferred out, and for him to wait his turn and believe in the process and know that it's going to pay off for him, man, I'm like y'all. I'm expecting B-Rob to have a big day today.
I am too, man. I think he is. I think we're going to control the line of scrimmage. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be one of those games where we run the ball really well. And I think we're going to do I think it's going to be a great game. And I'll tell you another one, man, who's been doing really well. He's consistent. And another guy that I've really been kind of following him, I'm proud of too, is Bolden. You know, he don't get a lot of recognition, but, man, he does some really great things. I mean, it ain't easy to get back there and return punts. You know, he come in and fill some roles, but man, I think Bolden needs to step up and, you know, he can be a leader for us today. He's been around. He know what it takes to win. I mean, he's a guy that we can lean on today. I see him making some big-time third down plays today. I see Bolden getting in the paint today. And I think that's something that you don't think about. But I think Bolden will have a great game today.
I'll take that. Well, we know you have to go. Before I release you, man, first give us your prediction, and then two, and I enjoyed when you last time you were on when we were talking about the Florida game. If you're in the locker room with those young men today, what are you going to say to them before they take that field?
Oh yeah,
I'm going to tell them, hey, lock the gate. Don't let them out till you're done with it. Play fast, play physical, and have fun. Dominate each and every rep. Dominate. Take care of your 111. Guys, it's we before me. It ain't about me, it's about us. So go out there and let's have fun. Let's take care of one another. Iron sharpens iron. It's about one another. So let's go out there and give our very best. Not for ourselves. That's part of it. But when you think about your brother, let's go. Give it everything you got. Look at your buddy. Look to your left and look to the right. Do it for them. If you don't want to do it for nobody else, do it for him. And I'm super, super, super excited about what's going to happen today. Let's light the scoreboard up. Defense, party at the football all day long.
Yes,
I mean, hit them right where they drink their milk at. And offense, man, let's lock the lights out the scoreboard. Bust the lights out the scoreboard today. So, man, it's going to be fun. I'm super, super excited. I cannot wait to see the Tide roll today. And I see us winning big. 47-10 today.
Woo! Yes.
Roll Tide. And for you gamblers out there, that's a cover and spread.
That's what's up. I love it. Man, AC, thank you so much for joining us today on this special day.
Antonio Carter.
We really appreciate you, brother. I think we lost your meet.
Did we lose you? Yeah, I think we lost him. Oh,
okay.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know what's really going on. AC, you there? Yeah, I think his volume might have kicked out.
Okay. Yeah, I think we lost the volume. But, man, if that don't get you fired up for the Iron Bowl, I mean, I honestly don't know what can, because you talking about Jerrell in his video getting you ready to run through walls. Man, AC, Antonio Carter can get you ready to run through 3 walls.
I tell you, man, the energy that guy just brought. It's fun to see the energy these guys bring. You never know what, they're coming on. I know AC has been on your show a few times, but he don't know me. He ain't done this morning show. So every time they come on, the level of relax, but the excitement is what gets me so damn pumped, man. Seeing guys that we used to get, they were preparing for the game and we were in the fan mindset, but to now see them on our side of the fence in that fan mode is really damn cool to see the guys that you love cheering like you do. I don't know why. Maybe just me, but that's cool.
I think we got some scores that are being predicted right now in the chat. Let's see.
Michael's got it at 52-6. He is expecting a dominating.
And I would love going into the Georgia game or the SEC championship to see a defensive performance like that where they're kept out of the end zone and they only scored 6 points, because that's a huge confidence builder, especially with all the adversity we have faced this year defensively. A lot of that, of course, is self-inflicted, but it's such a huge confidence builder, and especially to do it against your rival in their house.
Absolutely. And like he said, you want to go into that kitchen. I loved asking that question that just came to me. Is it better? Would you prefer to, it's fun to win at home because it's more comfortable. You're in your locker room, your stadium. When the game's over, you get to go right home. But there got to be something when you're in that enemy den. All of them are yelling because they hate your ass, and you shut every damn one of them up. There's got to be a feeling of just, you got to love that crap, man. That's what. Like, you got to silence it.
MFR Jones, you think that our defense is going to give up 28 against a depleted Auburn team?
I don't see that happening.
I tell you what, I hope it doesn't happen, but it's the Iron Bowl, man.
And I tell you what, though, there's a storyline that might not be getting the headlines in Alabama. My boy Neil McCready at Rivals is a coaching search savant, and he had he let some notes out this week on some of the coaching search and stuff that was going on at Miami and Florida and LSU, and it's looking like Napier to Florida. But the one nugget he dropped in there that really got my eye is Washington, who is kind of falling apart this year, is really interested in bringing Harsin back up to the Northeast. And Harsin is mutually interested. And this would shock me none at all. Spend a year in Alabama and realize Saban's making comments like, I ain't going nowhere for 10 years. I'd probably be like, maybe this isn't the best place to be for the next decade. I got to beat this guy, or I lose my job, or I could go to Washington and kind of just skate in every couple of years to there's something to be said. I'm not sure how much Harsin's head is in this, if he's really, if McCready's reports are right and he's really flirting with Washington.
And if that's the case and he's not dialed in, his players are going to pick up on it, and it's going to affect their performance. And you're right. I was kind of looking at this because I've heard it all week. Is a move to Washington really a better move? Is Washington that much better of a job than Auburn? At first, being an SEC guy, pro SEC guy, kind of you think, ain't no way a Pac-12 job is better than an SEC job, especially in Auburn. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, like you said, at the SEC, the expectations, not just at Alabama, the expectations are so unreal. And if you're not competing for an SEC championship and in the national title picture, then you're easily gone within 2 or 3 years. And of course, you're sitting at home with a nice buyout. But there's not really any job security right now.
Security. Look at the family tree of pictures from when Saban got here. Every year, if you look at the SEC had a coaching family picture.
Thank you, Coach Smoke. You let us know for that.
It changes every damn year, except for one. Saban's been this consistent, and that's because he's beating everybody. And I know you have to have a certain ego to make it to that level, to be a winner, to be good. And I would assume most of these guys think they're better than Saban or can beat Saban. But there also is an element of a wife or your agent in your ear saying, okay, look, I get it. The SEC is where you want to be. This is where the money. But there's also job stability. You can live in this cutthroat world that's now adding Oklahoma and Texas, and it's just getting more nasty. Yeah. Or we can go out to Washington, where USC sometimes cares, UCLA sometimes care. Oregon is kind of good, but you can be the cream of the crop out there every couple of years and sneak into Atlanta and play Bama in a Final Four and not care that you get your butt kicked because you're just happy to be there. And that coach gets to stay as long as he wants. So there's an element to longevity and security, and there's not security in the state of Alabama if you're at Auburn. One coach, the best record against Nick Saban came from Auburn, Alabama, and that guy lost his job. And Gus Malzahn.
And UCF.
And he couldn't keep his job. And he beat Saban, 4 times?
Yeah.
What was it?
3. Saban's 3 and 4.
Okay. But still, he had the best record against any other coach.
No, he's 5 and 4 against Auburn under Malzahn, and he lost 3 of those games to Auburn at Auburn. So, yeah.
So again, man, I'm interested. I think the Harsin thing is big today. I think there's some storylines here in this Iron Bowl that may turn it into a real ugly game for the home team.
Coach Mook seems to think that Harsin will not be leaving for at least 2 more years. So it'll be interesting to see. And
why do you think that? Answer, Smoke, if you don't mind. Pull up again there. Why do you think he ain't going to leave in 2 years?
Right, and this all could be just clickbait. It could be something generated by the media to get some extra clicks and to get some extra views during the biggest week of college football. That's rivalry week. So it could be a marketing ploy. So it could be that, and all this talk could amount to nothing, but it is an interesting topic to talk about nonetheless. So, but yeah, and like you were saying earlier, it kind of goes back to what Coach Saban was saying was when I first got here, you just appreciated a win. And now just winning's not good enough. Well, if Harsin, goes to the Pac-12, winning is good enough out there. And the fans definitely do appreciate, like you said, the victories, and 8 or 9 win season, is gold in their eyes. And you'll probably get a statue outside the complex there, unless you do something completely ridiculous to screw it up. And win a couple Win a couple Pac-12 titles here and there, and the occasional playoff appearance, like you said. I mean,
I was in Atlanta when Washington was there. They knew they were going to get their asses kicked and cared not. They were happy to be at the party.
Yeah, I mean
trust me, there's a different mindset when you're with an SEC team. They're not there for a party. They're there to win the game, and like I said, it's just so much more cutthroat. Look how many coaches have. I mean, Ed Orgeron was a national champion, 20 months ago? Now he's gone.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm not at all advocating that Coach O was a good coach by any means, but you have to kind of give him some slack. He wins a national title one year, and then majority of that team goes to the NFL. And then half that team that was remaining that were still really good and who had the game experience opted out of the season. So they were playing with primarily sophomores and freshmen who didn't have that game experience. So, and then they come back this year. This year really was the rebuilding year. And so I don't really hold these past 2 seasons against him. But then again, it's the expectations of not only LSU but the SEC. So, but they did what they did, and he's gone. So, and MFR Jones has a comment here. What do you think about all the head coach vacancies? Are we going to lose more of our staff to them? Tell you what, we will personally pack the bags of Pete Golding.
No, I was about to say this may be the one year that y'all don't get rated. I don't think anybody. This may be the one year that
it could be.
I don't think this is the one time Bama's going to be like, wait, Saban's wanting people to take as coaches, and so I can get some new ones, and nobody's going to get them.
Coach Mook has an answer to your question about why Harsin stays.
Yeah. Who's Michael? Who did you give a slack to that Michael thinks is a shitty coach?
Coach O. I was talking about Coach O. Like I said, I wasn't advocating that he was a good coach. I just think that, given the circumstances he had to face, you don't – I don't know. But he's gone. But, yeah, Coach Mook.
He's talking about – Michael's talking about O here. He's a shitty coach. Yeah, he's not a real good coach. He caught lightning in a bottle. Bill, where do you think Bill's going to slip out to, man? That's got to be – unless there's going to be like a pro – because the NFL loves retread, so there might be an NFL job that'll hire him back just because they – for some reason they think that shit works, but –
yeah, what's his name? The offensive coordinator for the Patriots. His name just kind of slipped my mind. It'll come to me at the wrong time. But he's a guy that has had so many NFL head coaching jobs, but he never wins wherever he goes. But he keeps getting rehired for some reason. So, yeah, Bill O might get that NFL call again. I wouldn't be surprised if Virginia Tech took a look at him.
Ooh, he'd fit up there. That seems like he runs a Virginia Tech offense. I don't know why that seems that way, but I guess because that's what he seems like a – I don't know. Just seems like that fits. That makes kind of sense. Seems like a Virginia Techie guy. Well, man, we will get back to the Iron Bowl with some final predictions, but I know you guys are crazy about it, but there are a couple other big rivalry games that are gonna go a long way in shaping the Final Four, which is important to the Bama Nation out there. And we got two big rivalry games that are gonna go a long way in shaping it today. But before we get to that, I do want to take a minute for anybody that's from Tuscaloosa or from the state of Alabama that has read anything about Alabama in their life, or anybody that is involved in journalism. They know who this man is. But I wanted to take a minute to give our respects to Cecil Hurt, who passed away this week. He was a writer for the Tuscaloosa News from the time, way before I got to Tuscaloosa in 94, and was pretty much a mouthpiece for the Tide. In an era where journalism has lost a lot of faith in this country, and they're not getting into the political side of it, but it's just not what it used to be. He was one of the last bastions of true integrity, class. If he asked a coach a question, that coach listened. He had the respect of journalists across the entire country. So, man, as a kid growing up in Tuscaloosa, you didn't open up the Tuscaloosa News and not see Cecil's picture in his column in the corner.
Right.
And again, it was he was class, and I wanted to pay my respects to someone who meant so much to the University of Alabama and so much to an older profession.
Without a doubt. I mean, he'd been doing it for 40 plus years, and a lot of teams and, even major networks has that voice, like, a legendary voice, like for the older crowd that's watching right now. Keith Jackson was a guy that was that voice of college football. And for us as Alabama fans, Eli Gold is that voice of Alabama football. But Cecil Hurt is that written voice of Alabama football. Anytime there was news that was being put out there by any other publication or any other network, good or bad, what have you, Alabama fans didn't pay attention until Cecil Hurt wrote it out. He was that big of a deal. Alabama football, you don't get ready for the season until you've read countless articles of him.
Yeah.
I didn't know about how great he was, living in Mississippi. I grew up in Mississippi, and, being an Alabama fan in Mississippi, you're only, you're limited to so much,
yes,
of what you're exposed to in regarers to the Crimson Tide.
Especially pre-internet era. It's not like you could go online and read Bama online and read Hurt. Yeah.
But, the only thing I got from Alabama, of course, was my passion. And, I read books, and occasionally what the Clarion Ledger would write, but it didn't capture, the true essence of Alabama. And when I went over there in 1999 as a student, one of the first things I was exposed to, Tuscaloosa News, and seeing Cecil Hurt, seeing his name and his topic for discussion. And that just really started to shape me more as an Alabama fan and allow me to grow. But yeah, this guy is so sad. So I hate it, and I thought that he was going to pull through and looked like he was going to overcome this, but unfortunately he's not. He did not. And but he leaves behind an incredible legacy that it's hard to match. But yeah, we will miss him greatly.
Well, and Smook, and I won't put it because I know that the autocorrect messed him up and it had Eli Golding, but you said it too. As much as Eli Gold was the voice of Alabama, Cecil was the written word of Alabama, and that's a big loss to the community to the Crimson community, and everybody his family and everybody that got to be a part and read his words. So, hey man, I will toast one to you today, Cecil, for this Iron Bowl, because I know this was always a big game that you loved to cover. He loved baseball, loved basketball. So man, Cecil, roll Tide from the clouds, brother. We know you up there looking today.
Yes, sir.
But we'll get back out of the somber. We've got some big football games today that are going a long way to shape this college football season. And the game, man, it's actually a game again. Ohio State travels to Ann Arbor. They were an 8.5-point favorite. I think the line's moved to 8, 7 in some places. So it looks like there may be some money coming in on Michigan. But the question is, this man has yet, like our boy Jerrell Powe brought up, or no, it was AC. You ain't going to keep your job down here if you can't beat your rival. There is no coach at Michigan who has lost this many games in a row to Ohio State and kept his job. This has got to be the line of demarcation for his job. I mean, this would be 6 for Harbaugh. Can he do it?
And that's what's so amazing is that, like AC mentioned, if it's Alabama, man, it's not even a question. You're out. I mean, you talked about Bill Curry earlier. Bill Curry had a really good career as a coach at the University of Alabama for his 3 years that he was there. Won the SEC title. I think the first SEC title that the Tide had since Bear Bryant. Yeah, since Bear. But unfortunately, his record against Auburn was not so good, and he actually had a brick thrown through his window. But but I mean, he was a great man, great coach, and any of his former players would tell you that. So it's kind of it's an anomaly to see Jim Harbaugh still there, and he hadn't been able to win that game. This game is the ultimate signature win for the Harbaugh regime, and I'm going to tell you right now, we've mentioned this before. If Jim Harbaugh is going to beat Ohio State, this is the year to do it because he's got a better team, but also too Ohio State next year. They're bringing back a lot of those guys.
Stroud's coming back.
Yeah, with the exception, of Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who will be in the NFL, but they have a lot of other guys coming back. So catch them now.
And Harbaugh's got a good defense right now. He's got one of the better defenses in the B1G.
Yeah.
And the games where Ohio State has struggled is against better defenses. Yeah, our co-host Michael likes to point out that a lot of these teams they're blowing out, like especially last weekend. Everybody's really high on this Michigan State win. Michigan State had the worst rated passing defense in the country, and they play in a non-passing league. That tells you how bad their secondary was. That was a matchup nightmare, and anybody that saw that knew that there was a reason Vegas had Ohio State as a 20-point favorite. But if you go back to the games, Oregon, because Cristobal's built a good defense up there. I'm about to slip on some of them, but Nebraska kept it a tight game. The defenses, if you've got a defense, you can slow this Ohio State, that you can get to Stroud. So, like you said, I agree with you. Harbaugh, you're getting them in the big house. You've got a defense, buddy. This is your chance to step up and finally do what they're paying you to do up there, and that's beat Ohio State.
Right, and like you mentioned, the defense. Michigan is all about that defense. What a tremendous turnaround. And you got to attribute that to defensive coordinator Mike McDonald. He's been the X factor. He's revolutionized this Michigan defense. Matter of fact, he has 2 of the best defensive ends in the country, in Aiden Hutchinson and David Abajo. Please forgive me if I butchered his name. But,
don't come get us, David.
Yeah, don't come get us. But, can Ohio State control the offensive line, control those 2 monsters right in front of them? And here's an interesting stat, too, Petty. Michigan's secondary has yet to allow a 300-yard passer.
Ooh,
so as good
that is
as
a huge
Stroud,
stat.
Yes, as good as C.J. Stroud has been.
You hear that game day? We're bringing thunder. That's some stats.
Exactly. Yeah, what you got there?
Yeah, what you got, Kirk? You got that stat?
So this isn't the high school secondary they faced last week. This is legit secondary now. That will be tested greatly today because, like I mentioned, man, Stroud has arguably the best receiving core in the country right now. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and another name I'm going to butcher, Najiba, maybe.
Hey,
and then if he's not passing it to him, he turns around. He's going to give it to Travion Henderson or Master Teague. So the Michigan defense, as good as they are, they've got a task in that offense, but,
it's going to be, and a lot of times people build up your stats and your reputation against teams that can't really test you. This is going to be the first, and it's great because it's in a big rivalry game. Michigan's first super test on defense versus, Ohio State's probably biggest test offensively. Man, that's where the key to the game is. Can Michigan slow this down and make this a game? Because I think they'll be able to score on Ohio State. I think they'll be able to move the ball some.
They will, and the biggest one of the biggest keys for Michigan's success is they're going to have to be able to run the ball against Ohio State, who is actually getting a whole lot better now against the run. They're only allowing 3.1 yards per carry, but Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum are going to have a big day. But Ohio State,
I know we get all hung up on the SEC, Justin, down here and all the athletes, but you can't deny, man. You look in the NFL, Ohio State's got dudes. They've got some some men across that line. I don't know, man. I'm with Michael posted earlier. He likes Michigan +8. I'm actually leaning Michigan at home in this game because of their defense. The only thing, and this is something that is the Harbaugh effect. Harbaugh is what scares the shit out of me in this game. I'll be honest. I'd like to see Michigan win. Shake this shit up. Shake the tree. Knock Ohio State out of it. Yeah, I'm pulling for the Michigan upset today. Just to, at this point with Ole Miss sitting at number 9 or 8, I'm Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. Chaos is a ladder. Let's just make it.
And I'm looking at this too. At this point in Harbaugh's career, he's not a better coach than Ryan Day. Now the Stanford Jim Harbaugh. That's a completely different coach. And if the Stanford Jim Harbaugh is coaching today against Ryan Day, I think you have a completely different scenario. But, this is what we got today. But some of the biggest things for Michigan is, one, they can't beat themselves. Don't do anything. Don't give anything to Ohio State. Matter of fact, don't let Ohio State get out to a big league, because if you're trying to play catch-up, you're done. And they got to force turnovers. And when the opportunities are there, they've got to capitalize. Last year, they were actually in it at several points, and there were some openings for Michigan. And had Michigan not gotten their own way and just taken those opportunities, it may have been a much better game, and they possibly could have won, or maybe not. But Michigan is going to have to do a lot today to put themselves in the driver's seat. And like I said, don't shoot yourself in the foot.
So, how do you see it playing out, man? Does Michigan does Harbaugh finally get that marquee victory against his arch rival, or is it some of the same old?
Same old.
Wow.
I think the want to is going to be there. I think you'll probably get a better performance from Michigan than years past. I think they're going to make it interesting, but Ohio State just has too many dudes. Too many athletes on all sides of the ball, and I would be shocked if Michigan is able to pull the upset.
There you go, man. I'm really torn, man. I think Michigan keeps it close, though. I will say this: I think Michigan covers the spread. I don't think they win the game. I just don't think Harbaugh has it. He showed earlier this year against Michigan State. Until Harbaugh can actually, and I'm not talking spreads here. This is W's and L's. Until he shows that he can win that game, I'm not back. I'm backing. It's like in Vegas, you always ride the hot hand, and he ain't the hot hand. So we've got another big one for you people out there that really hate the idea of Cincinnati and Notre Dame being in the Final Four, which oddly in a normal year I'm actually cheering for it. And I know that's stupid. People are like, what the hell? Why would you want that? Because it will force playoff expansion. And if we had playoff expansion, this team right here is in the playoffs. So as much as it's going to make everybody hate the playoffs and, oh, man, Notre Dame sucks and Cincinnati sucks and the top two are going to blow them out and it's just going to be a cakewalk. Good. I want all that. I want everybody to be pissed off because I want it to force change. I want the playoffs to expand past 4. But with that said, we only got 4 this year. And if you are one of those fans that don't like Cincinnati or Notre Dame getting in there, you might want to turn your eyes to Bedlam and become a Mullet fan. Because if Oklahoma State with 1 loss can beat Oklahoma today in Bedlam and then win the Big 12 championship, they could do enough to earn the respect of the committee and jump themselves into the top 4. Thoughts?
It can very well happen. It's funny how last week you were saying Notre Dame could easily backdoor their way into the college football playoff, which is happening right before our eyes.
It's coming.
But with that too, I mean, now you got the Big 12 coming into the discussion, so they could very easily, depending on what kind of chaos we're looking at today or next weekend, it's a very, very distinct possibility.
Oh, absolutely. And now, man, what's crazy? Oh, go ahead.
How will they? How would they? Now the question is, how would those teams fare against a Georgia or Ohio State? That's a totally different discussion for a different day. But yes, getting in, it can happen.
Well, and look, I think they've got a good shot at winning today. As much as we talked about Harsin maybe flirting with Washington, there is no doubt that there's fire behind the smoke that Lincoln Riley is getting courted by LSU right now.
Yeah.
Midway through the season, they had a Heisman contender at Rattler, and they benched him for Caleb Williams, and then they wanted to make him a Heisman contender. Well, the last 2 weeks, Caleb Williams has looked pedestrian, and hell, they've had to turn back to Rattler. So you're looking at an Oklahoma team that's got an identity crisis at quarterback, a coach who may be flirting with a soon-to-be brethren SEC team, someone in his own league, which that usually gets some frowns. And then you got Gundy on the other sideline. And this isn't the Big 12 that we were used to watching 5 and 6 years ago, where nobody plays defense and everybody scores 70 points. Oklahoma State, they've been winning this year because of defense. And, man, this crazy stat, this has got to be the most lopsided rivalry in all of sports. Bedlam, I wrote it down. Oklahoma leads the series 90-18. Holy hell, how do you lose your rival that much? That's got to be the most – could you imagine if you had only, you would be a beat down, demoralized son of a bitch if your team never beat your rival. But I think they
and it's crazy to think, because there was a time where Oklahoma was god awful, like the majority of the 90s, right?
Well, yeah, and then you had Les Miles there. Yeah, I don't.
And
it's weird.
Oklahoma State had some really good teams. So it's crazy.
I think this is the year they can make it to 19 and make it 90 and 19 and get closer to 20, because I do think there's enough turmoil in Oklahoma. I think Riley's headed to LSU. I think LSU's going to make him an offer he can't turn down. I think they've got a quarterback issue, and I think Oklahoma State probably pops them today.
It's quite possible, because it doesn't look like Oklahoma's really all that dialed in. They've been a crap show for the majority of the year. They haven't been able to get together. So maybe it's because of this. I don't know. But then how do you explain the early part of the season? But the Big 12 as a whole has just been so weird to watch this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's different. But will Lincoln Riley want to take on the nonsense of the SEC, the high expectations? And I know the LSU fan base and the administration are very demanding, to say the least. Will he want to put up with that?
Well, he's taking it on one way or another if he rides that train.
Let me ask this question. Does he have the balls to tell them to shut the hell up and let him coach? Kind of like what Saban did.
I don't know. There's a few programs that, balls or not, that even if you're Saban, I think they're too stupid. I think that's one of the reasons Saban really didn't want to stay at LSU. He didn't you could tell those crazy lunatics to go away all they want, and Kuna's going to show it back on your door. Same with Texas. Texas, you can tell the boosters to go away. They're never going to do it. They feel like they're too part of the program. With that said, I don't know what the scene is in Norman and with the boosters and the pressure. But, I mean, if he stays in it, he's going to be riding the train into the SEC with some expectations that Oklahoma, I hate to break it to Oklahoma, they're expected, regardless of what the SEC bravado is or not, to be one of the teams to start kind of competing in the SEC real quick. So, I mean, the pressure is going to be on him right there out of the gate.
Yeah. Although they are set up better than Texas is right now. But, yeah.
Ooh, wouldn't want to be them right now. Good Lord, Sark, man. They just got worse throughout the year.
I don't think a lot of that is his fault. He inherited a dumpster fire on top of having to deal with the boosters and administration and their ridiculous expectations. I mean, it's going to take some while to get Texas turned around.
Mm-hmm. He's got to be, especially joining the SEC, because, man, once you join the SEC, I don't know if he realizes that also you're opening up that footprint for recruiting too. I mean, the SEC raids Texas as is. It's not going to get better if Texas becomes more SEC friendly and territory wise. I mean, Bama and LSU and those schools are going to just steep further into Texas and take, what players aren't weenies from that state. I think that's a real soft football state, by the way. That's a whole nother podcast for another day. I could piss off some people from the Longhorn State. Well, man, we are going to hop back into the Iron Bowl, because I know that's what most people are here for today, but I do want to give you two picks that I really like. I didn't like if y'all heard me last week, even though I was all pain medicationed up, I told y'all Ole Miss wasn't going to cover against Vandy because it was a sandwich game between the Egg Bowl, and I just knew Ole Miss was about to sleepwalk. However, Tennessee is not going to sleepwalk. Vandy's kind of embarrassed Tennessee a couple of times in the last few years. And now that Tennessee does have a pulse and they haven't been able to impose their will on Vandy in a few years, and now they can. The line's 31.5. I really don't care. Tennessee's finally they're going to try to flex a little bit on Vanderbilt, I think, and win this game like 52-3. So
easily. Yeah,
I like UT big time as a 31.5 point favorite.
First of all, this is a different Tennessee team in so many ways. I mean, they're much improved, but they also have that give a damn gene turned way on. These guys
they care.
Want to play for Josh Heupel.
For Fat Phil number 2. Yeah, Fat Phil Jr.
God, isn't it kind of uncanny? How much he looks like Phil Fulmer. Already.
Hey, Josh, here's your contract, and here's my unlimited supply of Twinkies. Start eating.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
it's don't stay up in the orange too long. You end up looking like Fat Phil, and that's not a positive.
But,
I still have my Fat Phil loves to squeal shirt from my days at Pema.
Hey, I do have to give Josh Heupel some credit, man, for the job he has done with Hendon Hooker. Tremendous coaching job.
Hey, when you find a good hooker, it works out. Yeah. You know, look at Pretty Woman. Not all hookers are bad. Some hookers turn out to be supermodels that you can take with you to, fashion shows, and some of them turn out to be good quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Some of them get you fired from Ole Miss because you can't keep your phone records. So, Some hookers bad, some hookers good. TJ Hooker, good hooker.
Yeah, looks like he went to the high end part of the red light district.
Yes, he did. But with that said, I expect the Vols and the hookers to pimp slap Vandy today.
Hey, Coach Smook wants in on our stream next week for the SEC championship game, so we have to bring him on the show.
Well, we are Coach Smook. I tell you, we have talked about this. You mentioned it earlier, doing a call-in. We're evolving. We're rookies. We're amateurs. So I realize the next step in this evolution of online YouTubing is letting people call in and really taking this sanity to the next level. So we will be looking to doing that at some point. So yeah, join in the insanity. We love it, brother. Hey man, one more big line that I kind of like today. There's a team that Alabama that your co-host from your other show, one Marvin Constant, loved it. It's because it's Miami. I told y'all it was Miami. Miami garbage. Miami garbage. Well, Marvin, if you've watched, Miami ain't been garbage the last few weeks, and actually they've played some real good football in that crappy conference. So let's say good relative to the league that they're in.
Right.
But they're playing Duke today. Duke is back to the Duke. Like, God bless Cutcliffe, kind of made them competitive there for 5 or 6 years. Yeah. They're back to the pre-Cutcliffe Duke where everybody just hammers them. And kind of like what Justin said in Tennessee, I feel the same way. Ever since Miami's made a change at quarterback, kids been playing really good. They've been playing solid football. I expect Miami to go on the road because they do have something to play for. Manny Diaz is coaching like hell for his job down there. I expect Miami to roll Duke pretty easily on this 21-point spread. So
absolutely, and I really don't think that Manny Diaz's job is in jeopardy like everybody's trying to make it out to be. He's improved. He's shown improvement. Year after year, there is growth there. I think the real measuring stick is going to be what happens next year. And like you said, his team has responded a whole lot better since Van Dyke has come in.
Absolutely.
Now, Charleston Rambo hasn't really been the player I thought he would be since transferring from Oklahoma to the Hurricanes. But there is significant growth in Miami. Now, is it growth by Miami standards? Well, no, not yet. But Diaz is getting some things done there. But, yeah, I like him big today.
Nice. I do too. All right, man. That's all I really wanted to get to in the picks. I know we're about 30 minutes before opening kickoffs, and people want to
forgot about one pick though at the Futility Bowl. FSU
Florida.
God! FSU in Florida, the Futility Bowl. What'd you see?
Man, we are going to have an entire show based on, remember the 90s when the biggest game was Miami and Florida State. And when Florida and Florida State played, you cared because Spurrier just said, hey, you can't, Free Shoes University. And then you had Bowden. And now nobody even knows this is a game. It's at 11, and it's like the third or fourth game at 11 that anybody's going to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I do kind of like a side in this, though. Florida's favored by 3. I wouldn't like them favored by 3 if cousin Eddie Dan Mullen was still roaming the sideline saying the shitter's full. No, man. Their team is quit. Their defense is quit. Missouri just beat their ass.
Yeah,
no,
but
man.
if you can't get up for your rival, something's seriously wrong with you as a football player. You know,
I don't think Florida's got any get up in them left. I think Florida State has. They may. Hell, I don't know, but I think Florida State beats them today.
Florida State has been playing better compared to what they've been doing as of late. They seem more energized. They seem to be buying in more. So, yeah, to be honest with you, if this game ended in a tie, even though I know it can't, I think that I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. But being an SEC guy, I'm just going to go ahead and say Florida by 2, and they get that 2 on a complete accident.
Oh no. It's just going to be one of those Auburn State 3-2 scores.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, Smoot. You think North Texas can knock off the undefeated Roadrunners today?
The Mean Green?
Yeah, the Mean Green is like 5-6, and they're playing. Smoot wants to know about UTSA. They're undefeated and ranked, and they're 10-point favorites on the road at the North Texas Mean Green. And I don't think Mean Joe Green, who actually played for the Mean Green, is walking through that door today. So I would have to go blindly with UTSA.
Oh, absolutely. The only chance at a UTSA losing in their conference or the losing period came last weekend. UAB almost won, and man, I was getting excited for the Blazers. Man, I thought they're about to do this thing, and if anybody's going to beat UTSA, it's going to be Bill Clark, but he wasn't able to do it. So
yeah, that's right. I think Coach Smook is drinking my Bloody Marys this morning. He just called Florida a dumpster fire and then said they're going to cover the spread. I love that shit. Well, all right, man. Let's get back to it. It's my Rebels are Egg Bowl champions. The Golden Egg is where it belongs in Oxford, Mississippi. We talked to Powe. Man, this has been a badass day. Poe's a bad dude. He gave some insight for the Rebel Nation to look forward to next year. And then, man, we turned our attention. I ripped it off. Went with my alma mater, man. It's Iron Bowl time. God, man, this is
still taken back by that tribute to Hulk Hogan you did there.
Dude, I love the Hulk. Man, we've talked about this. I have a deep love for wrestling, I was really excited to get to do a little Hulkster, especially when the underneath is the Tide. I mean, come on, man, you're bringing out the capstone. So I'm gonna give my final thoughts as the Bama grad Rebel fan weirdo, and then I'm gonna let you throw it on, see what the Tide's gonna do. But man, I've said it enough. I think there's distractions on the plains. I think the way to beat Alabama is to throw the ball, even though I think Job's playing time is probably going to get lessened with Kool-Aid McKinstry's coming on. But with that said, if you're going to beat the Tide, you got to throw the ball. And Auburn, I haven't seen anything out of Finley to show that he can. Bama's defense, as much as everybody wants to get on Golding, has done well stopping the run this year. And on top of it, man, I know people also have questioned O'Reilly's play calling at times, but the offense has gotten the job done. I think it's going to get it done today. Bryce Young has steadily improved. That game he had against Arkansas was just 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. It was just bananas. He's hitting his stride. The receivers you got to be consistent, Mechie. Catch it, damn it, if it's thrown to you every time, not just half of it. And, feed B-Rob, Hillcrest, feed the Pat the Rock. And, I see Alabama winning this game today 35-6.
Ooh, still keeping them out of the end zone. I like that. I think the Bill O'Brien offense right now, yes, his play calling has been abysmal at times, but I think it would look a whole lot better if Jaleel Billingsley was playing like he's capable of. Imagine if Jaleel Billingsley was playing at his full potential right now, what the offense would really look like. Jamison Williams has drawn a lot of attention, and Mechie, he's been inconsistent, but when he's on, he's on. If you throw Billingsley into that mix, this offense is unstoppable. Mm-hmm. So you kind of, will this be the day where Billingsley joins the party? My gosh, I would love to see Jaleel Billingsley be himself again. Man. Yeah. And I don't think.
Because at the beginning of the year, you're like, damn, this tight end is the game. He was the equalizer or the game changer for that offense. Because man, when you got a dude like that over the middle, you're almost undefendable.
And whatever's going on in his head, he needs to snap out of it. I don't know. Stephen M. Smith is saying that he's trying to find himself. I don't know if Coach Saban putting him in the doghouse, trying to get his attention and his mind right, has really left him yet. I don't know. That might be limiting him. But, man, this dude can be a game changer. He's a tremendous athlete. It's crazy seeing what he did last year and then go through the drought that he's been through. He's only had 3 catches since the Southern Miss game. And if you told me that last year going into this season, I would have said, you're crazy. I'll take that bet.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay.
Absolutely.
But, one of the concerns I have, okay, this is the Iron Bowl, and you have to be up for that. Anytime this year that Alabama is going to a game where they're heavily favored, they've kind of gone in there lackadaisical. Just kind of sleptwalked, This is a game, for my first key, like I mentioned with AC earlier, win the mental battle. Come off that bus already ahead 48-0 in your mind.
That's right.
And the second point, seize the momentum. This game is a game of momentum, especially playing on the road in that loud, tough environment. You got to seize that momentum and keep it going. Next thing, like you mentioned earlier, limit Tank Bisbee and Jarquez Hunter. And if enforce the game into the hands of T.J. Finley, make him beat you with his arm. I don't think he possibly can. Of course, he may play out of his mind today, but don't.
If he does, then tip your hat and say, "Well, hell."
It's just
one of those moments.
Yeah, exactly. But I honestly do not think that Auburn has the wide receiving personnel to beat our DBs as suspect as they are this season. I don't see them being a factor. Mm-hmm. Of course, on our end, eliminate the mental mistakes. Don't give Auburn any gifts in this game, because that could be
Coach Smook, just word for word, just what you said. Limit self-inflicted wounds. We win.
Yeah, absolutely. When we've lost on the plains, it's not been because Auburn has outplayed us. It's because we've done things to beat ourselves. So we cannot do that today. And my like I told AC earlier, put your foot on their throat. In this game, don't let them hang around, period. And if you notice, the team that imposes their will running the ball is the team that usually wins. In 2009, 2011, that was Trent Richardson. 2015, that was Derrick Henry. 2016, that was Bo Scarborough. Yeah, B-Rob needs to be that next guy. So that's my last key. Impose your will running the ball.
Absolutely. And Justin, I do not want to sidetrack the Iron Bowl, but we talked about Neil McCready and his coaching reports, and this is kind of we're going to do this damn thing live and give McCready credit here. But at 9:30 today, he posted all signs point to Miami letting Manny Diaz go as early as after today's game versus Duke. That said, I fully suspect as of this morning, Miami will hire Mario Cristobal as its new coach. So McCready's Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the Tides, but I saw that and was like, man, we're on a live show. Let's report this insanity.
I'll get back to that, to the Iron Bowl. But 2 things to think of. Wow, I'm surprised that Miami's pulling the trigger so early. 2, bring Cristobal over. It makes sense. I mean, he's a Miami guy. He won national titles.
That's a great hire. Look what he's a great hire. I think that's a great hire for Miami. And woo, that's a bombshell by my boy McCready today.
And we all know Mario Cristobal can recruit like nobody's business.
Oh, he's one of look, man. When Saban puts the little gold star on his assistants, and he don't do it on all of them, you might want to keep your eye open. And Cristobal is one of his gold star ones. So,
and if you want to show some extra motivation to the players he's recruiting, Cristobal can show some.
No, I don't want that. That's no fair. No, man, he's a good defensive coordinator. You wouldn't like that?
Now go back and get Charlie Strong. Take him away from the Jaguars. That's a dumpster fire. You don't want him there. Go back and get him. No, I was going to say Mario Cristobal, if he wants some extra motivation to recruit, he can just show his old practice tapes when he was taking on the rock and winning.
Yeah. Well, man, what a bombshell to drop in the middle there. Sorry. Like I said, I got to give love to McCready because he is a damn guru.
I'm going to be honest with you. Man, Diaz is a defensive coordinator when he was at Georgia and some other places. He didn't really impress me that much.
Shit, he was good at State.
Well, yeah, 1 and how many?
Nah, I got you.
No, we need a bigger defensive guy than that. Hey, I still am holding out, for Bo Davis. I want that. I want him back. I want that fire back.
I
want that
understand
get right back.
Well, you can blame Mississippi State for that because they snitched on him. So, all right. I know I derailed you from the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
you were giving your final thoughts on that.
Gave my final thoughts. As far as my prediction, I've been going back and forth of this, and for some reason I feel like this game may be closer than it should be. It's the Iron Bowl. Weird things happen, but Alabama 42, Auburn 17.
Woo, 42-17, tied rolls. Well, there you have it, man. Your nerves are justified. I'm not ever going to crap on those and say, oh, dude, you're being dumb. Hey, man, it's the Iron Bowl. And it's on the native. Hey, we're at the Indian burial grounds and crazy shit happens down there. But I've got some confidence in this one. I think the turmoil, I think the matchups, I think everything's playing in the Tide's favor. And I think it's going to be a day where the state is covered once again in crimson.
Hey, I'm all for it. Let's get it done. Let's go. And yes, Coach Smook, I agree. Please bring Bo Davis if we can.
Keep Pete as linebacker.
No, don't let Pete stay there. Get rid of all that.
You just sent Marvin Constant over the edge with that one, Coach Smook.
Yeah.
He just blew up if he read that.
Don't do that, man. And tell him to go and take his perm kit with him.
Oh man, he's got good Bama bangs now. Come on,
no.
Come on. All right. Well, guys, what a great show. Poe, Ace, Antonio Carter solving a 21-year-old mystery and then bringing all that damn energy. Man, what a great day. I'm ready for some football now, man. What about you?
Oh, man, I've been ready. And having that that big dose of AC, I'm definitely ready. I think we need to bottle that as an energy drink and sell it, man. I'm telling you.
His and Dexter McCluster. We'll have the AC McCluster.
That's
you
what
can
we
have
need to do.
That's the Coke, the Mountain Dew, and the Dr. Pepper. You've got the McCluster and the AC because damn that energy, man.
Man, that's what we need to do is have them both on the show together.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, oh boy. Too much the internet would be not fast enough for that energy.
I don't think it could take on all that power they're bringing.
Hey, man, I think we got a new follower in Coach Smook. He says, hey, we'll be live next week for the SEC Championship, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, this is what we all been waiting for in the SEC is what it comes down to. So let's take care of business today and on the plains. And then we'll be back at you next Saturday to talk SEC Championship and more college playoffs, man. So, Justin?
Yep, let's do it. I almost
didn't plug.
Man, gosh. I see. That's how excited I am about the Iron Bowl.
Almost forgot your show.
Yeah, we have this show, next week, plugging the SEC Championship, but the Bama Standard, of course, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. We are back, and Marvin Constant is back in all his glory. I'm sure a Fire Pete shirt, a Fire O'Brien shirt will be on, and he'll definitely make it available for sale. We will announce our guests on Monday. It's going to be a big show. I had a pretty big show this past Tuesday. Had Trent Richardson and Blake Sims. Great guest. If you haven't watched that, please go back and watch that. We all know the incredible game that Blake Sims had against the Tigers in 2014. We definitely talked about that. But, join us next week. We're live just like this. We got the chat blowing up, so you don't want to miss either one of these shows next week.
Next week, Hotty Toddy and Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.